Chapter 730. That's right. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Brother Jian, you have to let it go. Lu Ming patted Kenfei Ryu's shoulder and did not say anything else. It was hard for outsiders to help with this kind of thing. They had to face it themselves. Then they went back to their rooms. There were still 20 days before the Heavenly King list battle officially began. Lu Ming wanted to increase his strength as soon as possible in these 20 days. The 6 ancient families cultivated deity-level cultivation techniques. The geniuses among them would definitely be powerful. Lu Ming also cultivated deity-level cultivation technique, the true dragon battle technique. He knew how powerful it was. The true dragon battle technique could increase one's true origin by 10 times. It had always been the foundation of Lu Ming's strength. In that case, if it was also a divine-level cultivation technique, it would definitely be terrifying to the extreme. The Heavenly King list battle would definitely be fierce. Lu Ming entered the Temple of Paragon and sat cross-legged in front of the Tree of Enlightenment. He took out a profound earth crystal and started cultivating. Supreme Nine Yang had chatted with Liao Tsang for a while before returning to the Temple of Paragon and falling into a deep sleep. Lu Ming crushed the profound earth crystal. Strands of intent realm filled his body. This profound earth crystal was a medium profound earth crystal. In the blink of an eye, more than a day had passed. Lu Ming had raised his earth intent realm to the peak of first minor success. He was one step away from greater success. At this moment, Lu Ming felt that he had reached a bottleneck. The earth intent realm had reached a bottleneck at first minor success. For the other intents, Lu Ming had reached the peak of first minor success in one go before reaching a bottleneck. The earth intent realm was indeed a special intent realm. It was not something the 9 common intents could compare to. Since he had reached a bottleneck, Lu Ming stopped cultivating and decided to take a walk outside. He opened the door and walked out. However, he saw a figure flashing by and heading outside. Brother Jian. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The silhouette just now was Jian Filiu. It was already nighttime and Jian Filiu's expression seemed a little anxious. What happened? Lu Ming's expression changed, and he followed. Kenfei Ryu's figure was extremely fast. Like a phantom, he bypassed a few streets and appeared in a secluded alley. Lu Ming engraved an array formation to conceal his aura and followed Kenfei Ryu silently. Kenfei Ryu did not notice him at all. Lu Ming appeared on the roof of a house. He looked down and saw a woman in a small alley. She was Kenfei Ryu's junior sister. Why are you looking for me? Kenfei Ryu looked at the woman in front of him and said coldly, Senior brother, do you really hate me that much? The woman looked at Kenfei Ryu and smiled bitterly. Hate you? How can that be? Everyone has their own aspirations, and I can't force them. If I hate someone, I should hate myself. I hate myself for being born with such low talent. No matter how hard I cultivate, I still can't compare to Wang Mang. Kenfei Ryu smiled self-deprecatingly. Senior brother, I was wrong. I was really wrong. At this moment, the woman smiled bitterly. Her delicate body trembled and tears rolled down her cheeks. What's going on? Kenfei Ryu frowned. Senior brother, you have to save me. I want to leave that beast. Ever since I followed him, he didn't treat me as a human and abused me every day. Senior brother, I beg of you. I can only rely on you now. The woman walked to Kenfei Ryu's side and grabbed Kenfei Ryu's arm. She could not stop crying. She rolled up her sleeves and saw that her arm was covered in scars. Those scars were all caused by whips. That beast tortured me every day. He whipped me and left scars on my body. He didn't even allow me to use my chi to heal. I really can't take it anymore. I want to leave him. Senior brother, I want to leave him. I shouldn't have agreed back then. I shouldn't have agreed. The woman cried again and again. Tears flowed down her cheeks. Beast. Beast. Jian Filiu let out a beast-like roar from his throat. Oh no! On the roof, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly moved. Not far away, a few streaks of light were flying towards them at high speed. Bitch, how dare you meet your old lover behind my back? Bitch. An angry roar echoed between heaven and earth. In the next moment, 3 figures landed in the small alley. Wang Mang! The woman screamed. She was so scared that her face turned pale. Kenfei Ryu, how dare you touch my woman? Today you will die. Wang Mang's eyes flashed with ice-cold killing intent. His body emitted raging flames. These flames were purple in color, and the temperature was terrifying. The surrounding walls, as well as the floor beneath his feet, were all vaporized. It vaporized the hard stones. This temperature was too terrifying. Sky-burning flames art. Kenfei Ryu's pupils contracted rapidly. The sky-burning flames art was the ultimate technique of the Wang clan, one of the 6 ancient aristocratic families. Wang Mang stepped forward and strode towards Kenfei Ryu. A halberd made of flames appeared in his hand. He slashed it towards Kenfei Ryu. Clang! The sound of a sword rang out. Kenfei Ryu's eyes turned golden. A golden sword appeared in his hand. A golden sword light streaked across the night sky. It was as if it could split the darkness apart. However, it could not split Wang Mang's halberd. Boom! The terrifying temperature burned everything. A deep pit appeared on the ground. It was vaporized by the flames. A golden and purple chi shot up into the sky and into the clouds. Kenfei Ryu retreated quickly. His body shone with a golden light as he resisted the terrifying temperature. What's going on? Someone is fighting. What a terrifying commotion. Countless people nearby were alarmed and flew over. Suddenly, figures appeared from all directions. That's the sky-burning flames art. It's the genius of the Wang clan. Wang Mang, it's Wang Mang. He's ranked 700th on the list of top 1,000 talents. The other person seems to be Kenfei Ryu. He's fighting with Wang Mang. Some people recognized the two and were shocked. Kenfei Ryu, is this all you've got? I'm so disappointed. Wang Mang's body shone with purple flames. He looked like a god of fire. The terrifying temperature overflowed. Even the air was burning. The place where Wang Mang stood became a vacuum. He stepped out again. The flame halberd cut through the night sky and slashed at Kenfei Ryu. The golden light on Jian Filiu's body was about to solidify and turn into a golden armor on his body. A golden sword light slashed out once again. However, Kenfei Ryu retreated further this time. The golden light on his body trembled as if it was about to collapse. Bush. The 2 old men who came with Wang Mang appeared beside the woman. One of them grabbed her shoulder. "Seen your brother?" The woman shouted. "Bitch, I'll let you see with your own eyes how I kill your old lover today." Chapter 731. Junior Sister. Kenfei Ryu gritted his teeth and soared into the sky. "You can't escape." Wang Mang stepped forward, his aura like a rainbow. That violet flame was too terrifying. Everywhere it passed, space turned into a vacuum. The Wang family was an ancient family. Their bloodline talents were all of the fire attribute, especially the direct descendants of the Wang family. It was said that they could awaken a bloodline called the pure purple heavenly fire. This bloodline combined with the godly tier martial skill, the sky-burning flame art, could unleash a terrifying power. Lu Ming was not in a hurry to act. This kind of matter still required Kenfei Ryu to deal with himself. However, if Kenfei Ryu was in danger, Lu Ming would not sit idly by. Golden Annihilation Slash. Kenfei Ryu roared. The dazzling golden light around his body converged into the battle sword in his hand. An incomparably sharp feeling emanated from the battle sword in Kenfei Ryu's hand. Immediately after, a dark golden sword light slashed towards Wang Mang. Demigod tier martial skill. Wang Mang's pupils shrank as he roared. Immediately after, the flames on his body soared. Pure purple destruction. The purple halberd surged out, causing the air to rumble. A terrifying explosion reverberated through the air. The dark golden sword light shattered and Kenfei Ryu's body was sent flying. He coughed out large mouthfuls of blood in the air. Furthermore, there were still purple flames burning on his body. It seemed like he wanted to burn Kenfei Ryu to ashes. You actually have a demigod tier martial skill. Unfortunately, you haven't mastered it. Furthermore, It's someone else's martial skill and not a bloodline martial skill. You want to stop me? That shouted Wang Mang. He stepped forward and charged at Jian Filiu. What he used was his own bloodline martial skill. Although it was not at the level of a half-god, it was infinitely close to it. In addition to the combination of the divine-level sky-burning flame incantation and pure purple heavenly fire bloodline, he defeated Jian Filiu's attack. Kenfei Ryu's demigod tier martial skill was obtained in the underground world's sacred mountain. He had just started cultivating it, so it was not strong. Naturally, he was no match for Wang Mang. Kenfei Ryu has been defeated. Is he going to be killed by Wang Mang? The Wang family is too strong. Bloodline is too strong. He is almost invincible against those of the same level. Even though Jian Filiu is strong, it will be hard for him to escape defeat. That's right. Throughout history, the top 10 heavenly kings of the heavenly king ranking were mostly occupied by the 6 great ancient families. Most of the top spots on the heavenly king ranking were also occupied by the geniuses of the 6 great ancient families. Not to mention the heavenly king ranking, the top spots on the list of top 1,000 talents are also occupied by the 6 ancient families. Only after the rise of the Heavenly Corpse sect can there be a genius who can compete with the 6 ancient families. Wang Mang's halberd was already slashing towards Kenfei Ryu. It seemed that Kenfei Ryu's defeat was a foregone conclusion. Boom! Just then, a vast fist radiance pierced through the void and blasted towards Wang Mang. Who is it? How dare you sneak an attack on me? Wang Mang shouted angrily. He changed the direction of his halberd and swung it towards the fist radiance. Boom! There was a loud explosion. Wang Mang moved slightly and took 3 steps back. A slender figure stepped out and walked towards Kenfei Ryu. It was Lu Ming. Brother Jian, are you all right? Lu Ming asked. Brother Lu, I'm sorry. This person is very strong. You have to be careful. Kenfei Ryu had already extinguished the flames on his body and was panting heavily. I'm fine. Lu Ming smiled and looked at Wang Mang. His eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. Today, I'd like to have a taste of your god-level skill, the sky-burning flame technique. It's you? Wang Mang recognized Lu Ming and sneered. Kid, don't think that you can fight me just because you defeated the trash at the bottom of the list of top 1,000 talents. If you want to have a taste of my sky-burning flame technique, then be prepared to be killed. I'm afraid you're not as strong as everyone else. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Although a skill was powerful, it depended on the person who cultivated it. It did not mean that one was invincible just because they cultivated a god-level skill. Take the true dragon fighting technique for example. If someone else cultivated it, they might not be able to reach the highest level and have 10 times the inner yuan. Different people cultivated it, so its power would be different. Lu Ming's meaning was clear. Wang Mang's cultivation was not up to par. Shameless boasting. Wang Mang narrowed his eyes and a cold, killing intent flashed in them. He took a step forward and continued to charge at Lu Ming, his halberd burning everything in its path. Lu Ming used the exploding star fist and punched out. The fist radiance contained the 2 essences of thunder and fire. Boom! The fist radiance collided with the halberd, causing a violent explosion. What a powerful force. So you've comprehended 2 essences. Unfortunately, you're only at the first level. Do you think you can stop me? Wang Mang strode out. His entire body seemed to have turned into flames, and a purple sun seemed to have appeared in the night sky. More and more people gathered around. At this point, there were already thousands of people watching carefully. Most of them were peak kings who had come to participate in the Heavenly King List battle. They could take this opportunity to understand the combat strength of others and compare it with their own. There were even geniuses ranked in the top 700 of the list of top 1,000 talents, as well as some extremely powerful seniors. Wang Mang's essence of fire had obviously reached the 2nd level. Is that so? Then I'll add another one. Wang Mang's essence of wind also burst out. The 3 essences merged and exploded, pushing the power of the exploding star fist to the extreme. Boom! A violent explosion sounded, and a beam of light filled the sky, illuminating the entire city. Lu Ming did not move, but Wang Mang retreated continuously. 3 essences? Impossible. Wang Mang's eyes flashed with disbelief. He had not expected someone to cultivate 3 essences to such a level. Extreme purple break. Wang Mang's aura burst out crazily as he used his upper heaven-class bloodline martial technique. The purple flames seemed to be able to destroy everything in their path. I've already said that you're not up to par. Lu Ming sneered, and the true yuan in his body began to circulate wildly. Just now, Lu Ming had not used all of his true yuan strength. Now that he had used all of his true yuan, he would be able to crush anyone of the same level. The fist radiance of the exploding star fist was even more terrifying. Lu Ming threw out dozens of punches in an instant. Each fist radiance was like a shooting star, blasting toward Wang Mang. Boom, boom. Explosions rang out continuously. After dozens of explosions, Wang Mang's figure retreated wildly with blood flowing out of his mouth. He was injured and was completely suppressed by Lu Ming. Damn it. Kill him. Wang Mang roared. The 2 old men's figures flickered as they pounced toward Lu Ming. These 2 old men were both peak kings, but they had definitely lived for a long time. Apart from their essence of heaven and earth not reaching the 2nd level, they were extremely powerful in all aspects. Their strength was not much weaker than Wang Mang's. The 2 of them worked together to suppress Lu Ming. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile as he stepped forward and threw out 2 palms. These 2 palms seemed ordinary, but they contained a terrifying power. Hell-suppressing heaven art. Chapter 732. The onlookers were shocked. Such powerful seniors were actually beaten by Lu Ming to the point of vomiting blood. Lu Ming's battle prowess shocked them once again. Lu Ming's long hair fluttered as he chased after the 2 old men. Brats, stop! Wang Mang's voice rang out. He stood behind Kenfei Ryu's junior sister, his berserk aura enveloping her. Brat, if you dare to attack again, do you believe that I won't kill her? Lu Ming frowned. He didn't expect Wang Mang to be so despicable, actually using Feng Ting's life to threaten him. Feng Ting was Kenfei Ryu's junior sister's name. Seeing Lu Ming stop, Wang Mang's face revealed a trace of malevolence. Brat, cripple your own cultivation. Otherwise, this bitch will die right now. Ha! Lu Ming laughed. Wang Mang, if I remember correctly, this woman should be your wife, right? You're using your wife's life to threaten me? Was your head bitten off by a dog? Also, is this how the so-called descendants of ancient families behave? My horizons have been broadened. Lu Ming really didn't expect Wang Mang to be so shameless, actually using his wife to threaten Lu Ming. Lu Ming was speechless. Bang. Lu Ming continued to step forward, his gaze threatening. If you want to kill me, go ahead. I don't know this woman. However, I'm afraid you, Wang Mang, will have to bear the reputation of killing your wife and threatening your enemy. Boom, boom. Lu Ming's palm struck out, suppressing everything. The 2 old men spat out mouthfuls of blood, each of their arms exploding. Damn it. Retreat. Wang Mang grabbed Feng Ting and quickly retreated. The 2 old men also quickly retreated. Lu Ming didn't press on. He was still somewhat worried about Feng Ting's life. If Wang Mang really went crazy and killed Feng Ting, Kenfei Ryu wouldn't feel good. Kenfei Ryu, you trash. Do you only know how to hide behind others? Don't worry, after I go back I'll take better care of this bitch. This is all thanks to you. Wang Mang's furious voice rang out. Senior brother. Feng Ting was so scared that her face turned pale, and her body trembled non-stop. Junior sister. Kenfei Ryu's eyes were red. He clenched his fists, but there was nothing he could do. Also, brat, just you wait. How dare you injure someone from my Wang clan? I'll see how you die. Wang Mang shouted angrily at Lu Ming. He then left with his men in a dejected manner. Lu Ming shook his head. After all, he was an outsider. Earlier he had the ability to make Wang Mang stay, but so what? In the end, Feng Ting's fate would be even more miserable. She might even implicate Kenfei Ryu. He was not afraid, but he had to take Kenfei Ryu and Feng Ting into consideration. Kenfei Ryu stared blankly in the direction Wang Mang left. His body trembled uncontrollably. Trash, I'm trash. Kenfei Ryu muttered to himself. Brother Jian. Lu Ming frowned. Kenfei Ryu's state was not right. Trash, Brother Lu, I'm trash. I can't even protect the woman I love. I can only watch as she's being bullied. Tell me, do you think someone like me is worthy of being called a genius? Do you think I'm worthy of living in this world? Jian Filiu's eyes were lifeless and dispirited. It was as if he had lost all his fighting spirit at this moment. Lu Ming frowned. Kenfei Ryu's current state was very dangerous. His martial heart was on the verge of collapse. Boom! A powerful aura erupted from Lu Ming's body. A long spear appeared in his hand. The sharp spear light pierced towards Kenfei Ryu's forehead. Kenfei Ryu sensed the terrifying killing intent. A golden light flashed in his hand. A golden battle sword appeared and blocked the spear light. He quickly retreated and looked at Lu Ming. Brother Lu, what's the meaning of this? Meaning? Kill you. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with killing intent. Kill me? Why do you want to kill me? Kenfei Ryu was in disbelief. What's the point of leaving trash like you alive? You can't recover from such a small setback. What's the point of cultivating martial arts? I might as well send you on your way. Lu Ming's aura was oppressive and his clear voice continued. The path of martial arts is full of thorns. We will encounter all kinds of difficulties. What we need to do is not to retreat but to move forward bravely. We need to use our own strength to smash everything. If gods block us, we will kill them. If demons block us, we will kill them. If you want to save your junior sister, the only way is to become stronger. Nobles, generals, and nobles are all powerful. Didn't the ancestors of the ancient aristocratic families start from ordinary people? What's a mere Wang family? As long as I'm strong enough, I alone can be an ancient aristocratic family. Lu Ming's voice was like a huge bell. It constantly struck Kenfei Ryu's soul, causing Kenfei Ryu's body to tremble. Power, power. Yes, as long as I'm strong enough, I can save junior sister. As long as I'm strong enough, I can destroy everything. Kenfei Ryu muttered to himself. His eyes slowly regained some color. Then he closed his eyes. After a while, when he opened his eyes again, it was as if there were two golden divine swords in his eyes that pierced the sky. A golden battle sword appeared above his head. It looked as if it could pierce the sky. At that moment, Kenfei Ryu seemed to have comprehended something and underwent a metamorphosis. Brother Lu, thank you very much this time. Kenfei Ryu solemnly bowed to Lu Ming and thanked him. This time, it was too dangerous. His martial heart had almost collapsed. If his martial heart collapsed, it would be impossible for his cultivation to improve in the future. He might even be invaded by his inner demons and suffer chi deviation. However, Lu Ming's words had enlightened him. It had even allowed him to undergo a metamorphosis. He had comprehended a new martial skill from his bloodline, an even more powerful bloodline martial skill. He was extremely grateful to Lu Ming. Brother Jian, there's no need to be so polite. I'm just speaking my mind. Let's go. Then, the two of them returned to the inn. However, the crowd around them was discussing animatedly. Who's that kid? What arrogance. He's looking down on the Wang family. Not only that, he even said that he alone can be an ancient aristocratic family. What arrogance. He doesn't know his place. Just watch. The Wang family's prodigy won't let him go. Wang Mang is only average in the Wang family. The sounds of discussion filled the air. Soon, the news of the battle spread. The next morning, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Kenfei Ryu, and the other 29 experts of the Golden Sword sect flew to the west. The Heavenly King's steel was there. 100 miles away, a huge steel towered into the sky. It was 1,000 meters tall and at least a few hundred meters wide. There were no words on one side of the steel. It was blank. Below it, there were 27 stone steps. The stone steps were very long. One could see that the top 7 steps were dark red. There was no one on it. The bottom 20 steps were gray, the same color as the steel. There were many figures on these 20 steps. They were sitting cross-legged on the steps, as if they were cultivating. Moreover, the number of people decreased from the bottom to the top. The first step had the most people. The higher one went, the fewer people there were. Chapter 733. Are these people cultivating on the top? Lu Ming asked. That's right. There are 2 Heavenly King steels. One is used for the assessment while the other is used for cultivation. The Heavenly King steels have markings left behind by ancient powerhouses. As long as one ascends the stairs, they will be enlightened. Some people can even use it to break through. Jian Fenglu explained. Isn't it said that only those who participate in the Heavenly King list battle and obtain 108 slots can step onto the Heavenly King steels and obtain opportunities? Lu Ming was curious. You're talking about the 7 dark red stairs at the top. Only the final 108 people can step onto the stairs because the effect is much stronger than the 20 stairs below. Kenfei Ryu said. Oh, what will happen if one doesn't obtain a slot? Lu Ming asked. Death. Without a slot, only death awaits those who step onto the stairs. There will be no exceptions. In fact, the 20 stairs below are also very dangerous. It tests one's willpower and has nothing to do with one's martial heart. If one's willpower is not strong enough, there is a high chance that one will die on the stairs. Moreover, the higher the stairs, the stronger and more dangerous it is. Of course, if one can withstand it and reap the rewards will be equally great. Kenfei Ryu explained. Lu Ming nodded and his eyes were filled with interest. The Heavenly King steels only opened once every 3 years. During normal times, the stairs would not have any effect. It would only take effect when the time was right. The stairs took effect half a month ago. Some people had been cultivating there since half a month ago. During this period, there would be a large number of people coming every day. Buzz. At that moment, someone on the stairs could not withstand it and was blasted off the stairs. He flew far away and fell to the ground with blood spurting out of his mouth. There were also people who stood up with trembling bodies and slowly retreated. They only heaved a sigh of relief when they reached the bottom of the stairs. Their bodies were drenched in sweat. I can only last for half an hour on the 7th step. The person sighed. He was a middle-aged man. It's good enough that you can last for half an hour on the 7th step. I'm ashamed to say that I've lived for 800 years and I can only last for 20 minutes on the 7th step. An old man sighed. Speaking of which, Jiang Taishu is really terrifying. The middle-aged man looked at the figure sitting cross-legged on the 19th step at the top. The figure was tall and straight. He was obviously a young man. What? That's Jiang Taishu? Kenfei Ryu exclaimed. Lu's heart was also shocked. Almost all of the top 600 geniuses on the list of top 1,000 talents in the Eastern Wilderness were at the Sea Spirit realm, except for 10 of them. These 10 geniuses, as martial kings, managed to squeeze into the top 600 and compete with other Sea Spirit realm geniuses. One could imagine how powerful they were. These 10 people were also ranked in the top 10 of the Heavenly King ranking. They were known as the 10 Heavenly Kings. Jiang Taishu was one of them. He was the descendant of the Jiang family, one of the 6 ancient families. Now, the top 4 of the 10 Heavenly Kings have reached the Sea Spirit realm and won't take part in this competition. There's another genius from the Talisman Puppet sect who won't take part in this competition. Jiang Taishu is ranked 6th among the 10 Heavenly Kings and is one of the most likely candidates for the title of the strongest Heavenly King on the Heavenly King list. That's right. He's too terrifying. He's already been on the 19th step for 3 days. Gosh, that's too terrifying. He's only 1 step away from being comparable to the ancient heroes. Sounds of discussion could be heard all around. Lu Ming's gaze pierced through the crowd and landed on the figure at the top. Bush, bush. Air-rending sounds could be heard from time to time as people kept arriving. Lu Ming saw Gao Chang, a few gray-robed youths from the Heavenly Corpse sect, Qin Qingshan, and Qin Qingfei. When Qin Qingfei saw Lu Ming, his eyes were filled with fear. Rumble. A blazing aura descended as a group of people arrived. The crowd hurriedly moved aside. They were the Wang family, an ancient family. There were more than a dozen people from the Wang family. Obviously, this was only a small portion of the Wang family. Wang Mang was among them. Little bastard! Wang Mang looked coldly at Lu Ming and Kenfei Ryu the moment he arrived. Wang Mang, are you talking about that brat? There was a young man beside Wang Mang. This young man was very strange. His eyes were red like rubies, which was very demonic. That's right. It's that little bastard. Wang Mang pointed at Lu Ming. The red-eyed young man strode toward Lu Ming. Along the way, the crowd moved aside because the red-eyed young man's body temperature was too high. It's the Wang family. That person's eyes are fiery red. He must be Wang Mie. Wang Mie, ranked 635 on the list of top 1,000 talents. Whispers of discussion could be heard all around. Brother Lu, you have to be careful. This person is very strong. Kenfei Ryu reminded him softly. The 635th on the list of top 1,000 talents was almost the strongest among the kings. Apart from the 10 kings, the rest of the top 600 were all in the sea spirit realm. Brat, last night, you were the one who injured the men of my Wang clan and spoke arrogantly, saying that my Wang clan is nothing. Wang Mie walked up to Lu Ming and asked flatly. His voice was calm, but there was a condescending tone to it. So what if I am? Lu Ming replied calmly. Ah, so what if I am? You don't know your place. How dare you say that in front of me? Let me tell you, the consequence is death. Wang Mie laughed coldly. You can try. Lu Ming was still very calm. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Boom. Purple flames rose from Wang Mie's body. The terrifying temperature instantly evaporated the air. The area where he stood within a 3-meter radius became a vacuum. Boom. At the same time, a powerful aura erupted from Lu Ming's body. His genuine core power roared like a dragon, and the 3-colored essence of heaven and earth surrounded him. As soon as their auras collided, Lu Ming instantly felt a terrifying heat surging toward him. It was as if this heat could burn and destroy everything. Lu Ming's body involuntarily retreated by 3 steps. Wang Mie also took 3 steps back. This scene caused a wave of exclamations. Who is that young man? He's so terrifying. He's not at a disadvantage in the confrontation with Wang Mie's aura. How terrifying! Indeed, he's very unfamiliar. He must be a rising genius. There are too many geniuses in the Heavenly King list battle this time. It's too difficult for us. Some of the older generation figures sighed. Although many of the older generation figures had cultivated for hundreds or even thousands of years and were very powerful in all aspects, their talent was limited if they could not break through the spiritual sea. Moreover, if they could not break through the spiritual sea, it meant that the essence of heaven and earth was still stuck at level 1 perfection. In every Heavenly King list battle, the young geniuses had the upper hand. Chapter 734. With the arrival of the Great Era, geniuses will emerge in large numbers. This time, the Heavenly King ranking battle will be an early showdown between geniuses. It will be extremely tragic. We have to be prepared. Some of the older generation figures sighed. Kid, you have some skills. Let's see how strong you are. Wang Mie was forced to retreat by Lu Ming. He felt embarrassed, and the killing intent in his eyes turned colder. The aura on his body also became stronger. If you want to fight, then let's fight. Lu Ming did not back down. His battle intent was even stronger. Suddenly, a vast and boundless aura spread down from the top of everyone's head. An old man appeared in the air and said, "No fighting is allowed in front of the Heavenly King monument. Violators will be killed without mercy." His voice rumbled, shocking everyone. This old man's aura was too terrifying. It made one unable to think of resisting. He was definitely not an ordinary Sea of Soul realm expert. Perhaps he was a top expert in the spiritual embryo realm. Every time the Heavenly King monument opened, the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect would send experts to manage it together. It was obvious that this old man was the expert in charge of the Heavenly King monument. Lu Ming and Wang Mie quickly retracted their auras and disappeared. Kid, you're lucky this time. However, when the Heavenly King ranking battle begins, you won't be so lucky. Killing intent flashed in Wang Mie's eyes. Is that so? Then I'll see you at the Heavenly King ranking battle. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Wang Mie snorted and turned to leave. At this moment, people were constantly being blasted down from the Heavenly King Monument stairs. I must break through my limits and step into the spiritual sea realm. A loud roar sounded. On the 10th step, a white-haired old man with a crazy aura stepped onto the 11th step. Bang! A big hole suddenly appeared in the old man's chest. He screamed as his body was blasted down the stairs like a kite with a broken string. He fell to the ground, no longer breathing. It's Elder Ling Wang. Sigh, his lifespan is almost up. He wanted to fight, but he still died in the end. Someone recognized the old man and sighed. What can we do if we don't fight? Rather than dying from the exhaustion of our lifespan, we might as well fight. A white-haired old man said firmly. The number of people on the stairs decreased. At this time, there were new people going up. For example, Gao Chang, Qin Qingshan, Qin Qingfei, and the others. Bang, bang. About 100 people stepped onto the first step. As soon as everyone stepped onto the platform, some people's expressions changed greatly. Their bodies trembled, but they gritted their teeth and barely managed to hold on. Others had calm expressions. Gao Chang and Qin Qingshan's expressions were calm. Ugh. With a blood-curdling scream, Qin Qingfei was directly blasted down the first flight of stairs, crashing heavily onto the ground. Huh, who is this person? He was blasted down the first step. The crowd burst into laughter. Normally, those who came here were all considered experts among peak kings. It was rare for them to be blasted off the first step. Their willpower was too weak. Damn it, how did this happen? Qin Qingfei's face flushed red, feeling extremely ashamed. Out of more than 100 people, he was the only one who was blasted off the first step. As for the others, some sat cross-legged on the first step, while others continued to walk up. After that, at every step, there would be people who would stop and sit down cross-legged. There were also people who would be blasted off the steps. Generally speaking, as long as they did not force themselves, their lives would not be in danger. At most, they would be injured. Only a few people continued to climb. This was especially so for Gao Chang and Qin Qingshan. Their rankings on the list of top 1,000 talents were close. At this moment, they seemed to be competing with each other and had no intention of stopping. Soon, the two of them had reached the 10th step. After reaching the 10th step, the two of them stopped and looked up, fear flashing in their eyes. But in the next moment, they continued to climb. Bang, bang. The moment Gao Chang stepped onto the first step, his body trembled as if he had been struck by lightning. He spat out a mouthful of blood. His body involuntarily retreated back to the 10th step. He roared angrily and steadied himself on the 10th step. However, Qin Qingshan did not retreat. Although his body was trembling, he still stood firmly on the 11th step. Gao Chang's eyes were filled with reluctance. After all, he was still no match for Qin Qingshan. After Qin Qingshan steadied himself on the 11th step, he took another step. The 12th step. When he stood on the 12th step, his body trembled uncontrollably and his face turned pale. After a while, he slowly stabilized himself. Then he sat cross-legged on the 12th step and began to cultivate. Let's go up too. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with curiosity as he stepped forward. Xian Yanqing, Kenfei Ryu, and the rest followed suit. In addition, Lu Ming also saw Wang Mie, Wang Mang, the three gray-robed men from the Heavenly Corpse sect, and the rest. There were more than 100 of them. Bang! Lu Ming stepped onto the first step. The moment Lu Ming stepped onto the first step, he felt a strong pressure on his body and even his heart. At the same time, a huge and ferocious demonic beast pounced on Lu Ming. Its murderous aura enveloped Lu Ming as it opened its bloody mouth and bit at Lu Ming's neck. It was as if it could bite off Lu Ming's neck in the next moment. Lu Ming frowned. His body was as still as a mountain as he allowed the demonic beast to attack him. When the demonic beast hit his body, it disappeared without a trace. Illusion, It was indeed an illusion. However, that cold and merciless murderous aura and violent murderous aura were real. Moreover, the most terrifying part of this illusion was that if one's will was not strong enough and could not withstand it, the illusion would become real and give a heavy blow. This was also why some people could not withstand it and would be seriously injured or even die. The demonic beast on the first step was not too strong. Very few people would be blasted off. Then, Lu Ming stepped onto the second step. The pressure on his body and mind became stronger. At the same time, a ferocious demonic beast pounced on him. This demonic beast's eyes were cold and merciless. Its murderous aura were even stronger than the previous one. However, Lu Ming ignored it and let the demonic beast charge past him. He continued to step onto the third step, the fourth step. On the side, Xian Yanqing and Kenfei Ryu did not stop at all and stepped onto the fourth step. On the other side, Wang Mang, Wang Mie, and the three gray-robed men from the Heavenly Corpse sect did the same. From the fourth step onwards, not only did the murderous aura on the demonic beasts' bodies become stronger, they even carried the intent of heaven and earth. This way, the pressure on people was even more terrifying. The further they went, the more demonic beasts there were. The impact on people became more and more real. Many people could not bear it anymore. They either stopped or were blasted off. How mysterious! The intent of heaven and earth on these demonic beasts seems to have been left behind by a top expert. If I can capture it, I will definitely be able to deepen my understanding of the intent of heaven and earth and even break through. However, this place is not strong enough. I need a stronger pressure and a stronger intent of heaven and earth. Perhaps it can help me break through the bottleneck and cultivate my intent of heaven and earth to the second level. Chapter 735. The Heavenly King's Steel was indeed a good place. Soon, Lu Ming arrived at the 10th step. Xian Yanqing and Kenfei Ryu also arrived at the 10th step. However, only a few of the other 29 elders of the Golden Sword sect had arrived at the 10th step. On the other side, Wang Mie, Wang Mang, and the three gray-robed men of the Heavenly Corpse sect had also arrived at the 10th step. Wang Mie and Wang Mang gave Lu Ming and the rest a provocative look. Then, they stepped onto the 11th step. Bang! Lu Ming did not stop and also stepped onto the 11th step. Whoosh, whoosh. When he stepped onto the 11th step, rays of light shot towards Lu Ming. These rays of light were of various colors and shapes. There were swords, sabers, fists, palms, hammers, etc. These weapons of various colors exuded cold, murderous intent as they charged toward Lu Ming. It was as if many experts had launched an attack on him. Lu Ming stood still. These weapons landed on Lu Ming's body one after another. What was different from before was that the previous demonic beasts disappeared after pouncing on him. However, this time around, these weapons pierced through his entire body after landing on him. There were many holes in his body and a soul-piercing pain emanated from him. How could this be? Lu Ming took a deep breath and looked in other directions. He saw that the others were not injured. However, there was a look of disbelief or solemnity in their eyes. Illusion. It should still be an illusion. However, this illusion was too real. It was as if many experts were really attacking him and piercing through his body. This kind of attack could even penetrate his soul and cause incomparable pain. In such an environment, how many people could guard their hearts and not be moved? They could even move forward bravely. Once they retreated, these illusions could become real and cause serious injuries. Amazing! However, these illusions are far from enough to make me retreat. My heart is as firm as a rock. If I retreat in the face of such an attack, how can I face Martial Emperor D in the future? Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he continued to climb. On the 12th step, there were still many attacks. Every color of these attacks represented a concept of heaven and earth. They were incomparably mysterious and were definitely left behind by a peerless expert. Then it was the 13th step and the 14th step. At this point, the 29 experts of the Golden Sword sect had all stopped. On the 14th step, there were only Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Kenfei Ryu, Wang Mie, Wang Mang, and the 3 gray-robed youths from the Heavenly Corpse sect. There were also 2 white-haired old men who were bitterly holding on. At the bottom of the stairs, countless people were watching. Amazing! They are indeed peerless geniuses. Who do you think is stronger? Which step can they reach? That's hard to say. The Heavenly King's steel tests one's will, and heart of martial arts. It doesn't have much to do with one's battle prowess. Normally, it's hard to tell. Even so, it's not completely impossible. Generally, the higher one's talent and potential, the further they can go. For example, that Jiang Taishu. Therefore, I think that Wang Mie should be able to go further in this group. It shouldn't be a problem for him to reach the 17th step. And indeed, also, that Lu Ming was able to confront Wang Mie just now. He's also extraordinary. He should be able to reach the 16th step. As for Kenfei Ryu, Wang Mang, the 3 from the Heavenly Corpse sect, and that young woman, they should be able to reach the 16th step at most. In fact, they might only be able to reach the 15th step. Your conjecture is quite possible. Below, the crowd discussed animatedly, expressing their opinions. Just as the crowd was discussing, Lu Ming and the others took another step. The 15th step. A sword light, like a flying immortal, pierced towards Lu Ming's forehead. The sharp killing intent made Lu Ming feel that he would lose his life in the next moment. He knew that this was fake, but the feeling was too real. No matter who it was, they would subconsciously want to block, retreat, or resist. Even if it's a mountain of blades or a sea of flames, what do I have to fear? Pucci. Lu Ming felt as if his forehead had been pierced. A cold feeling spread throughout his body. At this moment, Lu Ming felt as if he was really going to be killed. My heart won't move. Lu Ming muttered, looking up with a determined gaze. There seemed to be endless wills of heaven and earth roaming between heaven and earth. Every one of them was incomparably mysterious. However, this was not what Lu Ming wanted. He wanted to go even higher. Boom, boom. At this moment, 2 old men on the 15th step screamed miserably as they were blasted off the step, spurting blood from their mouths. As for the 3 gray-robed men from the Heavenly Corpse sect, 2 of them trembled violently and were almost blasted off the step. However, they managed to endure it with a roar, but they were also panting heavily and sweating profusely. The last one was Wang Mang. His body was trembling and his face was pale. In addition, Kenfei Ryu's body was also trembling slightly. Could it be that this is my limit? No, I can still be stronger. I want to become a peak expert. I want to use my strength to protect the people I love. I want to save Junior Sister. Kenfei Ryu roared in his heart. His eyes were filled with madness and determination. Bang! Kenfei Ryu was the first to step onto the 16th step. He was stepping for love. He had to become stronger. Yesterday, Lu Ming had said that as long as one was strong enough, one could become an ancient aristocratic family. That soaring heroic spirit had deeply touched him. He wanted to break through the limit. On the 16th step, Kenfei Ryu's body was trembling violently. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, but his eyes were filled with determination. Slowly, his body calmed down and he stood steadily on the 16th step. Kenfei Ryu actually managed to step onto the 16th step and hold his ground. Amazing, truly amazing. That's right. Kenfei Ryu is ranked 788th on the list of top 1,000 talents. It's really rare for someone like him to be able to step onto the 16th step. Generally speaking, it's rare for someone to step onto the 16th step after being ranked 700th on the list of top 1,000 talents. Many people were discussing in shock as they looked at the 16th step. Seeing Kenfei Ryu step onto the 16th step, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing smiled faintly. Jian Filiu had an obsession in his heart, he would definitely become stronger. Impossible! Wang Mang's eyes widened in disbelief. It was already very difficult for him to step onto the 15th step. He did not expect Kenfei Ryu to be able to step onto the 16th step. How can I lose to this trash? Wang Mang roared and stepped onto the 16th step. In the next moment, his eyes were filled with horror. With a scream, His body flew far away and fell to the ground, vomiting blood. Bang! Chapter 736. Humph! Wang Mie glanced at Kenfei Ryu, snorted coldly, and stepped forward. Then, Wang Mie's body trembled slightly, and he stood firmly on the 16th step. Let's see how far you can go. Wang Mie looked coldly at Lu Ming, full of provocation. Lu Ming smiled faintly and stepped forward. The 16th step was undoubtedly more terrifying, but Lu Ming still stood firmly. Xian Yanqing followed closely behind him. Xian Yanqing's eyes were extremely determined. Lu Ming seemed to see Xian Yanqing's eyes that she was going to step on someone. It shouldn't be me, right? Lu Ming shook his head and smiled in his heart. Wang Mie's eyes turned cold when he saw that Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing had both stepped onto the 16th step. Below, the others were also surprised. They didn't expect that other than Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing and Kenfei Ryu would both be able to step onto the 16th step. Brother Lu, Miss Xie, I can't accompany you all the way up, Kenfei Ryu said at the side. Then, he sat down cross-legged and started cultivating. If you can't step on it, don't force yourself. Otherwise, it will be a joke if you die here before the Heavenly King leaderboard starts. Wang Mie looked at Lu Ming and sneered. Is that so? You're telling yourself that, aren't you? Lu Ming smiled faintly. You have a sharp tongue. Let's see if you can step on it. Wang Mie snorted and stepped forward. Bam! Wang Mie's foot landed heavily on the 17th step. Instantly, his body shook violently, as if he was under terrifying pressure. But in the end, he still managed to step on it. He stopped. Wang Mie can indeed step onto the 17th step. It's said that the situation on the 17th step is completely different from the previous 16 steps. It's even more terrifying. The 17th step is a hurdle. Only those who can step onto the 17th step can be considered top talents. Wang Mie stepping onto the 17th step moved many people, although they had already expected it. Come on up. Lu Ming turned his head and looked down at Lu Ming in a condescending manner, revealing a smug expression. There were different levels of talents. Wang Mie had stepped onto the 17th step. In terms of determination and potential, he could already be ranked among the top talents. How could he not be smug? Bam! His smug expression didn't last long before it stiffened. Xian Yanqing took a step forward. Wang Mie. He didn't even tremble. A frog at the bottom of a well, short-sighted. What's there to be proud of about the 17th step? Xian Yanqing glanced at Wang Mie with disdain. Below, many people were dumbfounded. Xian Yanqing's actions were completely out of their expectations. They had to re-evaluate this beautiful girl. Xian Yanqing hadn't said much before. Now, they knew that they had underestimated Xian Yanqing. You? Wang Mie's face was ghastly. He looked at Lu Ming and said, She is her. What about you? Bam! As soon as Wang Mie finished speaking, Lu Ming stepped forward and stood firmly on the 17th step. Wang Mie's expression was completely stiff. The 17th step is indeed different. Lu Ming's gaze looked up. In front of him, a figure as tall as the heavens appeared. This figure exuded a terrifying pressure. This pressure was unparalleled, like the might of the heavens. Under this pressure, even his soul trembled, unable to summon the slightest thought of resisting. Get down! The huge figure spat out these 3 words. His voice was like thunder. It was extremely majestic and couldn't be resisted. At the same time, various rays of light landed on Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming could clearly feel that there were holes in his body. Blood was flowing out. You have no right to ask me to get down. Lu Ming's eyes were firm and bright. He faced the huge figure without fear. Damn it! Wang Mie let out a low growl. At this moment, 9 people on the 17th step opened their eyes and looked at Lu Ming and the other 2. These 9 people were the ones who had already stepped onto the 17th step. Some were old, but most of them were young. They were all extremely powerful. Interesting. A few more geniuses have come. Wang Mie seems to be at a disadvantage. Wang Mie can only stop here. What's the background of that young man? I've never seen him before. He seems to be a rising genius. I wonder if he can step onto the 18th step. On the 17th step, a few young experts were discussing. It's not enough. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He didn't even look at Wang Mie. He lifted his foot and continued to step up. Lu Ming's firm footsteps landed on the 18th step. He steadily stepped onto it. At this moment, the 5 figures sitting cross-legged on the 18th step opened their eyes at the same time and looked at Lu Ming. Impossible! Wang Mie roared. The rest of the people present looked at Lu Ming in shock. Lu Ming could actually step onto the 18th step. It was too shocking and beyond everyone's expectations. There were only 5 people sitting cross-legged on the 18th step. These 5 were extremely famous geniuses. Although they weren't among the 10 heavenly kings, they were close to that level. Each of them ranked above Wang Mie on the list of top 1,000 talents. Now, there was one more person. There was only one person above them on the 19th step. That was Jiang Taishu. The point was this Lu Ming's limit? Could he go one step further and be on par with Jiang Taishu on the 19th step? They were curious, extremely curious. But an even more shocking scene occurred. Xian Yanqing also lifted his foot and stood on the 18th step. Do you want to try? This time, Lu Ming turned his head and looked down at Wang Mie. Damn it! Wang Mie's eyes were extremely gloomy. His body was emitting blazing flames, like a fire god. If you can't step on it, don't force yourself. The list of heavenly kings hasn't started yet. If you die here, it'll be a joke. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Wang Mie was so angry that he almost vomited blood. These were the words he had said to Lu Ming just now. Now Lu Ming had returned them to him. I don't believe it. Wang Mie's eyes flashed with a trace of ruthlessness. With a low growl, he stepped onto the 18th step. Suddenly, his body shook violently. His eyes were filled with horror. He screamed and spat out a mouthful of blood. His body was directly sent flying down, following in Wang Mang's footsteps. The 17th step was already Wang Mie's limit. If he forced himself to go up, this would be the only result. It was lucky that he didn't die. The crowd just casually glanced at Wang Mie, then looked back at the 2 figures on the 18th step. Would they be able to continue going up? The crowd was extremely curious. However, to their disappointment, Lu Ming sat down cross-legged. Chapter 737. Many people heaved a sigh of relief. Then, there was a burst of discussion. It seems that the 2 of them can only reach the 18th step. That's their limit. It's already amazing. Although the higher they go, it doesn't mean that their combat strength will be stronger. At least it shows that their will and martial arts heart are extremely tenacious and have endless potential. Yes, if they break through to the sea spirit realm, they can easily rush into the top 500 of the list of top 1,000 talents. I wonder how long they can stay on the 18th step. Many people nodded in amazement. These were 2 newly risen sky prides. During this period of time, there had been quite a number of newly risen sky prides. On the 18th step, the other 5 people saw Lu Ming and Jiang Taishu sitting cross-legged. They also closed their eyes and began to cultivate. Jiang Taishu, who was on the 19th step, did not open his eyes. It seemed that below the 19th step, nothing could arouse his interest. Lu Ming did not continue to go up, not because he could not, but because he felt that the 18th step should be enough. He sat cross-legged. Above him, the huge figure was still berating him, telling him to get down. At the same time, countless rays of light of various colors pierced toward him. It's really uncomfortable to have to bear this kind of pressure and pain all the time. Lu Ming smiled slightly. However, this was also a kind of training. At the same time, the attacks of various colors were all essence realms of heaven and earth left behind by peerless experts in the antiquity times. This was an unparalleled wealth. Talented people could comprehend the essence realms of heaven and earth and even comprehend supreme combat skills. Only warriors in the martial king realm could enter the heavenly king list and be effective. If a sea spirit realm expert or even stronger stepped on it, there would be no effect at all. Lu Ming closed his eyes and his mind spread out. He raised his eyebrows slightly. He had just caught a flash of lightning. This thunder essence is compatible with me. I must capture it, Lu Ming carefully sensed. After a while, he sensed a wisp of thunder essence again. Buzz. At this moment, his concept of thunder turned into a rope that flew out with extreme speed and wrapped around the concept of thunder. Boom. At this moment, Lu Ming's mind buzzed. The environment of heaven and earth seemed to change. Lu Ming discovered that he had appeared in a void. In the void, there was a figure leaping about, displaying the concept of thunder. What a miraculous concept of lightning. So it turns out that the concept of lightning can actually be used like this? With just a glance, Lu Ming was mesmerized. His eyes were fixed on it. He discovered that his comprehension of the concept of thunder was constantly increasing. Like this, time slowly passed. Lu Ming seemed to have forgotten about the attacks outside, the pressure, and the pain. He wholeheartedly focused on comprehending the concept of thunder. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. Suddenly, in Lu Ming's sea of consciousness, there was only one concept of thunder rune. Suddenly, a new concept of thunder rune appeared. This new concept of thunder rune was only an inch long, much shorter than the previous one. As soon as it appeared, it intertwined with the first rune, complementing each other. Second-level concept. Lu Ming's concept of thunder had successfully broken through to the second level. He finally had a concept of heaven and earth, breaking through the bottleneck and stepping into the second level. However, this was far from enough. Lu Ming still had 3 concepts that he needed to step into the second level. Otherwise, his cultivation would not be able to break through the spiritual sea realm. Immediately, Lu Ming continued to cultivate. This time, he did not continue to comprehend the concept of thunder. Instead, he began to capture other concepts. Not long after, he successfully captured the concept of wind and began to comprehend it. Time passed slowly. There were more and more people on the Sky King's stele. Some people climbed up the stairs, while others could not hold on and were blasted off the stairs. During this time, many more geniuses appeared. There were more people on the 17th and 18th steps. However, there was only Jiang Taishu on the 19th step. The other geniuses who were as famous as Jiang Taishu did not appear. They might be cultivating elsewhere. In the blink of an eye, another 6 days had passed. It was already the 13th day since Lu Ming stepped onto the Sky King's stele. At this time, Lu Ming opened his eyes. Now that my wind and thunder concepts have both stepped into the second level, it's time to improve my earth concept. Only when my earth concept reaches the completion of the first level, or even the second level, my health-suppressing heaven skill will be stronger. Lu Ming looked up. He needed to climb higher. He had tried just now. He did not capture the appropriate earth concept on the 18th step, so he could only go up. In the next moment, Lu Ming stood up. Below, many people looked at him curiously. Lu Ming has stood up. He has been up there for 13 days. I guess he can't take it anymore and will come down. It's scary enough to stay on the 18th step for 13 days. What's more shocking is Jiang Taishu. He has been on the 19th step for so long. Jiang Taishu is likely to rank first on the Sky King's stele this time. However, in the next moment, the discussion came to an abrupt end. Everyone widened their eyes in shock. They realized that Lu Ming was not going to step down. He was going to go up. Bang. Lu Ming stood firmly on the 19th step and stood firmly on it. At this moment, everyone gasped with their mouths wide open. Lu Ming actually stood still. He had successfully reached the 19th step and was on par with Jiang Taishu. Jiang Taishu, who had been sitting cross-legged on the 19th step without any movement, suddenly opened his eyes. 2 sharp rays of light flashed through his eyes. A trace of surprise flashed across his eyes. He did not expect that the person who had reached the 19th step would be a young man whom he did not know. However, what was more shocking was that after Lu Ming reached the 19th step, he did not seem to have any intention of stopping. He looked at the 20th step. Oh my God, is he going to reach the 20th step? No way, that's the 20th step. Not many people have been able to reach it. In this year's list of top 1,000 talents, Only the top 20 geniuses have reached the 20th step when they were at the Martial King realm. The previous first on the Sky King's stele also reached the 20th step. No one else has reached it. Can he really do it? Even Jiang Taishu can't reach it. Many people were discussing in shock. At this moment, the sharpness in Jiang Taishu's eyes intensified. He stood up and said to Lu Ming, "Are you going to reach the 20th step?" Jiang Taishu had transmitted his voice, so no one else could hear it. "That's right," Lu Ming said. "I advise you to stay on the 19th step." Jiang Taishu transmitted his voice again. "What do you mean?" Lu Ming asked. "What do I mean?" Chapter 738. There was a hint of a smile at the corners of Lu Ming's lips. It was a mocking smile. He knew what Jiang Taishu meant. Jiang Taishu's meaning was obvious. He was already on the 19th step. If Lu Ming stepped onto the 20th step, he would be humiliated. Jiang Taishu was not able to step on it, but he wanted to be superior and not let others step on it. It was ridiculous. Why would Lu Ming care about such a person? If you're so capable, come up too. Lu Ming smiled coldly and ignored Jiang Taishu. He turned around and stepped forward without hesitation. Boom! When Lu Ming stepped onto the second step, he felt as if the whole world was pressing down on him. His body involuntarily trembled, as if he would collapse at any time. In the sky ahead, Lu Ming saw a figure as tall as the sky, looking down at him. That kind of pressure was even more terrifying and powerful. "Get down!" The voice kept rushing into Lu Ming's mind and soul. Endless lights of various colors flew toward Lu Ming and hit Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming felt as if he was being cut into pieces. He could clearly see his flesh and blood being separated from his body. Of course, this was only what he felt. What others saw was that his body was trembling slightly. He stepped on it. He stepped on it. His body is trembling slightly. It seems very difficult. Can he hold on? If he can, he's comparable to the top 20 geniuses on the list of top 1,000 talents. The 20th step. This guy has a bright future. Below, countless people widened their eyes in shock and nervousness as they looked up at Lu Ming. "No one can make me get down." Lu Ming growled on the 20th step. His eyes were full of determination and persistence. He wanted to break through all obstacles. He wanted to reach the peak. He wanted to surpass Martial Emperor. A figure seemed to appear in front of him. It was indomitable and had an unparalleled aura. It was even bigger and more majestic than the figure that had told him to get down. That was the Martial Emperor De in his imagination. He had surpassed Martial Emperor De. Why should he be afraid of this figure? His posture slowly stabilized and he stood up straight. He stood firmly on the 20th step. Above them was the dark red staircase. Only those who had participated in the Heavenly King list battle, obtained the top 108 places, and had the protection of the tablet Qi, could step on the dark red step. Otherwise, there was only one way out. Looking at Lu Ming standing on the 20th step, a cold light flashed in Jiang Taishu's eyes. His body was extremely sharp. He looked at the 20th step, hesitated, but he did not step on it. At that moment, people on the other steps opened their eyes and looked up at Lu Ming. Amazing, truly amazing. Another top-notch genius. Many geniuses exclaimed. Brother Lu is indeed much stronger than me. Kenfei Ryu sighed. Qin Qingshan and Gao Chang also sighed. Qin Qingshan had been easily defeated by Lu Ming a few days ago. Initially he was unhappy, but now he was convinced. As for Gao Chang, he felt lucky. Previously, he had wanted to teach Lu Ming a lesson. Now that he thought about it, his face burned. Impossible! In the crowd below, Wang Mie, Wang Mang and the others shouted in disbelief. This brat, I want him dead. Murderous intent flashed in Wang Mang's eyes. Don't worry, climbing the Heavenly King stele doesn't mean that you are strong. Kill him in the Heavenly King list battle. Cold light flashed in Wang Mie's eyes. At that moment, Xian Yanqing, who had been sitting cross-legged on the 18th step, suddenly stood up and stepped on the 19th step in front of everyone's shocked eyes. Xian Yanqing steadily stepped onto the 19th step, standing at the same level as Jiang Taishu. Before the crowd could react, Xian Yanqing took another step forward. With this step, she stepped on the 20th step. Her body trembled slightly, but her eyes were resolute. Another person stepped on the 20th step. Moreover, it was the female companion of Lu Ming. Almost everyone thought that she was Lu Ming's girlfriend. A golden boy and a jade girl both stepped on the 20th step. Everyone was stunned and thought that they were dreaming. This was too unbelievable. Since the opening of the Heavenly King's stele, no one had stepped on the 20th step. Now, two of them had stepped on it. The coldness in Jiang Taishu's eyes intensified. It's so lively today. Let me join in the fun. A loud laughter sounded. Everyone looked over and saw a fat man with a waist as thick as a water tank. He wore a loose white robe, and his face was chubby. He was carrying an axe on his shoulder. The shaft of the axe was 2 meters long, and the body of the axe was as big as a door. In his other hand he was holding a greasy lamb leg. He was munching on it as he descended and stepped on the stairs of the Heavenly King's stele. At this moment, a beam of light flashed on the other side. A tall figure landed at the foot of the Heavenly King's stele. This young man was wearing a gray robe and looked very ordinary. He was the kind of person who could be easily found in a sea of people. He descended and strode towards the stairs. The fat man and the ordinary young man climbed the stairs very quickly. They took one step at a time. Soon, they had reached the 11th step. However, they did not stop. They continued to climb up step by step. 17 steps, 18 steps, 19 steps. Everyone was dumbfounded. Where did these two geniuses come from? They were too terrifying. They had reached the 19th step in one go and were on par with Jiang Taishu. Nestle, this place is really uncomfortable. It hurts. No, I have to eat more meat to replenish my energy. The fat man shouted and gnawed on the lamb leg in his hand. Then, under everyone's gaze, he stepped onto the 20th step. The ordinary young man also stepped onto the 20th step. Shocking, shocking. Countless people were dumbfounded and tongue-tied. What was going on today? Usually, very few people could reach the 20th step, but now, so many people had appeared in one go. 4 people had reached the 20th step. More importantly, all 4 of them were unfamiliar faces. They were not on the list of top 1,000 talents. I can't take it anymore. I want to eat meat to replenish my energy. It hurts too much. The fat man yelled as he gnawed on the lamb leg. Surprisingly, he stood firmly on the 20th step. Lu Ming was speechless. The others were also speechless. Some people were even more indignant. It was too unfair that the fat man could reach the 20th step. That young man seems to be the rising talent of the Heavenly Corpse sect. He's called King Corpse. Chapter 739. Corpse King, what a strange name. It said that this person has cultivated the Heavenly Corpse sect's God-tier cultivation method, the 9 Nether Corpse transformation art, to an extremely powerful level. His combat strength is extremely terrifying. The 9 Nether Corpse transformation art turns one's body into a divine corpse, invulnerable to weapons, water, and fire. There's nothing it can't break. It's extremely terrifying. This is a terrifying opponent. Many people were discussing. Some of the experts who were going to participate in the Heavenly King list secretly noted the Corpse King's name and tried to be as careful as possible when they met him in the future. At this time, Jiang Taishu's expression was extremely ugly. He glanced at the 4 people on the 20th step, and a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Then he actually turned around, walked down the steps step by step, and then soared into the air and left. Beauty, how should I address you? I'm Kong Jin. The fatty took a few bites of the lamb leg, and a pair of beady eyes turned to Xian Yanqing. Get lost. Xian Yanqing only replied with one word. Beauty, why are you so fierce? Don't you just want to talk? Don't tell me you're already taken? Sighed. Am I late again? Brother, don't tell me it's you? The fatty sighed and then looked at Lu Ming. What? Do you want to fight with me? Lu Ming asked. Fight? What fight? I have my principles when it comes to picking up girls. First, I won't pick up girls who are already taken. I won't fight with others for a girl who is already taken. How tiring would that be? The fatty chewed on the lamb leg and then looked at Xian Yanqing and said, "Beauty, do you have any brothers or sisters?" "No, sisters?" "Introduce one to me." "Get lost," Xian Yanqing said again. "Look at you, can't you speak properly?" "Brother, does your wife have a sister or sister? Introduce one to me?" Kong Jin looked at Lu Ming again. Lu Ming was speechless. This fatty was really a weirdo. Did he come up here to find someone to introduce him to a girlfriend? In Lu Ming's mind, Xian Yanjuan's figure involuntarily appeared. He subconsciously said, "She really does have an older sister who looks quite similar to her." "What? Really? Brother, you have to help me. I've already decided that I'm going to conquer this beautiful sister." Fatty's eyes lit up, then he took another bite of the lamb leg. Xian Yanqing's eyes flashed with a ferocious light as he fiercely squeezed out 2 words. "I'm going to start cultivating." Lu Ming hurriedly sat cross-legged and closed his eyes, ignoring the outside world. Xian Yanqing gritted his teeth and sat down cross-legged. The fatty quickly finished eating the lamb leg. Then, he carried the axe and sat down cross-legged, beginning to cultivate. The corpse king also began to cultivate. Before long, Lu Ming captured a trace of the concept of earth and started to comprehend it. His comprehension of the concept of earth increased by leaps and bounds. In the blink of an eye, another 7 days passed. Lu Ming finally cultivated the concept of earth to the peak of the first level. Now, he had 4 types of concepts. The concept of earth and concept of fire were both at the peak of the first level. The concept of wind and concept of thunder were both at the entry level of the second level. Lu Ming's battle strength had increased by a large margin compared to when he had just arrived. At this time, the Heaven King ranking battle had officially begun. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and everyone else cultivating on the Heaven King's steel steps went down the steps and headed north. Dozens of miles away, there was a huge plaza. The plaza was paved with some kind of black stone with complicated inscriptions carved on it. Around the plaza, there were more than 100,000 experts gathered. All of them were peak kings. Fatty Kong entered and followed Lu Ming like a shadow, constantly muttering that he wanted to introduce Xian Yanqing's sister to him. Lu Ming was now incomparably regretful, regretting the words he had blurted out earlier. Boom, boom. In the sky, a huge and terrifying pressure could be felt. 6 figures appeared in the sky. These 6 people were definitely extremely powerful experts. It was very likely that they were all in the spirit embryo realm. 3 from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and 3 from the Heavenly Corpse sect. Both sides would send out experts to preside over the Heaven King ranking battle. Spiritual Master 3 corpses, let's begin. Are you going to announce it, or should I? In the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace, a middle-aged man wearing a jade crown looked at the person in the middle of the 3 from the Heavenly Corpse sect. Hee, Dongfang Hao, you should do it. Spiritual Master 3 corpses chuckled and didn't say anything else. Dongfang Hao nodded. He looked around and said, the Heavenly King ranking battle requires 2 rounds of preliminaries. Only the strongest people will be qualified to participate in the final battle. The first round of preliminaries will be held in this square. After speaking, Dongfang Hao waved his hands, and inscriptions entered the ground of the plaza. The inscriptions on the ground glowed, and in the next moment, shields appeared in the plaza. The shields were arranged in rows. In each row, there were 36 shields. There were a total of 18 rows. You should be able to see that there are 36 shields in each row. Get on the stage and attack the shields. Only those who can break through 9 of them will pass and move on to the next round. Now let's begin. Dongfang Hao announced. Let me do it. In an instant, 18 people went up to the plaza. There were a total of 18 rows. Each time, 18 people could take the test at the same time. Boom, boom. Activating their true essences, various intent realms were released. The 18 people made their moves one after another. The shields shattered one by one. Break! Lu Ming saw a burly man punching out with both fists. Fiery fist auras were blasted out, and the shields kept shattering. However, the moment the shields shattered, they seemed to produce a powerful force that struck back at him. The further one went, the harder it was for the shields to shatter. Furthermore, the force of the counterattack was also stronger. Bam! Bam! The burly man's figure kept retreating. In the end, he roared and punched with all his might, shattering the 9th shield. However, at the same time, his body also retreated rapidly and spat out a mouthful of blood. Shattering 9 shields, you pass. You, shattering 6 shields, fail, eliminated. Dongfang Hao began to announce. Out of the 18 people who went up, only 6 of them managed to shatter 9 shields. Those who passed, the success rate was only 1/3. The person with the highest score managed to shatter 11 shields. Next group. Dongfang Hao announced. Immediately, another 18 people flew up into the sky, and the shattered shields were reformed. That's Jiang Taishu. Jiang Taishu went up. Among the 18 people, one person attracted everyone's attention. Jiang Taishu, the genius of the Jiang family, one of the 6 ancient families. He was ranked 6th in the previous 10 heavenly kings. Now, the top 4 of the 10 heavenly kings had all stepped into the Sea of Soul realm. Jiang Taishu was the most likely candidate to compete for the strongest king title this time. Jiang Taishu was as still as a mountain. His body emitted a terrifying sharpness that was incomparably sharp, as if it could cut through everything. Chapter 740. Break! Jiang Taishu whispered. His palm was like a sword as he slashed forward. Boom! Boom! In an instant, 9 shields exploded, but that was not all. The 10th, 11th, and 12th shields exploded. In the blink of an eye, 18 shields exploded. Break again! Jiang Taishu shouted. His aura became even sharper as he slashed out again. This time, the crowd seemed to see a saber slashing forward. Bang! Bang! One shield after another exploded. The powerful astral wind and qi were sent flying back. However, Jiang Taishu did not move at all. He continued to attack, shattering everything. In the end, a total of 28 shields were shattered. Jiang Taishu shattered 28 of the 36 shields, which was an amazing result. No one at the King realm had ever been able to shatter all 36 shields. In this round of 18 people, other than Jiang Taishu, the strongest person had only managed to break 12 shields. The gap was too big. Following that, 18 people took turns in a row, 18 people took turns in a row, and more people went up. But the success rate was only about 1/3. Many people who failed shook their heads and sighed. They were not fated to be on the Heavenly King list this time. Gao Chang was ranked last on the list of top 1,000 talents. As he had lost an arm, his combat power was reduced and he only managed to shatter 12 shields. Qin Qingshan had shattered 16 pieces. Wang Mang shattered 20 shields. Wang Mie was very strong. He shattered 24 shields, which was only 4 shields away from Jiang Taishu. But the further one went, the harder the shields became. It was too difficult to shatter them. One shield was a big gap. A day later, more than half of the hundreds of thousands of people had taken turns. Among them, there were a few amazing experts who attracted Lu Ming's attention. Like Jiang Taishu, all of them had shattered 28 shields. Lu Ming knew from the others that these people were either geniuses from the 6 ancient families or experts from the Heavenly Corpse sect. They were also geniuses in the previous 10 heavenly kings. There were 5 of them in the previous 10 heavenly kings, including Jiang Taishu. There was no doubt that these 5 people were absolutely extraordinarily terrifying. They were the 10 heavenly kings during the last competition, and then they'd stayed at the peak of the king realm for 3 years. So, how terrifying would their combat strengths be? It wasn't that these people couldn't break through to the spiritual sea realm. They could do so at any time. They just wanted to accumulate more and be stronger. Once they broke through to the spiritual sea realm, there was no doubt that their cultivation would improve rapidly and reach a new height in a short time. Of course, the others did not break so many pieces, but it did not mean that there were no masters who could compete with Jiang Taishu and the others. It was normal for some people to hide their strength. Anyway, as long as they broke 9 pieces, they could pass. The 28 pieces that Jiang Taishu and the others had shattered might not be their limit. Lu Ming and the others were at the back of the queue. It was only their turn the next day. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Kenfei Ryu, and Fatty Kong Jin stepped onto the square together. Everyone's eyes turned to look at them, especially Fatty Kong Jin, Xian Yanqing, and Lu Ming, because the 3 of them had reached the 20th step. Boom! Lu Ming was very straightforward. He punched out. A ray of fist radiance shot out and hit the shields. The shields shattered one by one. Sure enough, the further the shields went, the harder they became and the harder they were to break. Every time a shield shattered, a strong force would hit back at Lu Ming. With a single punch, the 9 shields exploded. That's enough. Lu Ming smiled faintly and did not continue attacking. He looked to the side and found that Xian Yanqing had also shattered 9 pieces and stopped. The 2 of them looked at each other and smiled. Anyway, 9 pieces were enough to pass. What was the point of shattering so many? The rest of the people present were speechless. Originally, they wanted to see Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's attack power. Unexpectedly, the 2 of them stopped after smashing 9 pieces. This made many people feel depressed. Obviously, the 2 of them did not use their full strength. They just wanted to pass. Of course, there were people who disagreed. Maybe their attacking power is not high and they dare not use their full strength. That's why they shattered 9 shields. They are deliberately mystifying and attracting attention. Someone snorted and did not think highly of Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. At this time, there was a commotion. Lu Ming turned his head and saw Fatty Kong Jin, who was triumphant. In front of him, 28 pieces were shattered. No wonder everyone was so surprised. To be able to shatter 28 shields, his attacking power was comparable to Jiang Taishu and the others. Who's this fatty? I've never seen him before. Where did this peerless genius come from? I've never seen him before either. Maybe he's a disciple secretly taken in by a peerless powerhouse? There are too many geniuses now. Fatty Kong Jin looked around with a big axe on his shoulder. He grinned and looked very pleased with himself. Soon, this group of people was finished, and the next group of people was replaced. Corpse King. In this group, the Corpse King went up. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the Corpse King. The Corpse King was also a person who stepped on the 20th step. Boom. The Corpse King was very straightforward. He directly punched out. The terrifying fist force shattered the shields in front of him one by one. After a few punches, 28 shields were shattered. At this time, he suddenly stopped. This guy's strength is not bad. I feel that he didn't use his full strength. Interesting. Fatty Kong Jin stood beside Lu Ming and stared at the Corpse King with sparkling eyes. His eyes were full of fighting spirit. The next moment, a leg of an unknown beast appeared in his hand and he began to gnaw on it. Lu Ming was speechless and did not bother to pay attention to him. As time passed, people went up and down in batches. After a day, all the tests were over. A total of 120,000 people participated in the test, and only about 40,000 passed. It was obvious how difficult it was. One had to know that those who could come here were all peak-level kings. Many of them had good battle strength among peak-level kings. Many of them were old fellows who had cultivated for hundreds of years. Alright, the first round of the test is over. Those who passed the first round will go with us to the other Heavenly King Steel. Dongfang Hao announced. Then, Taoist Master 3 corpses and the rest of the Heavenly Corpse sect flew towards the north. Lu Ming and the rest followed. There were a total of 2 Heavenly King Steels. They had seen one of them before. The other one was the place where the final battle of the Heavenly King rankings took place. In front of them was an abyss that was 10 miles wide. On the other side, there was a huge stone stele that stood there. It was 1,000 meters tall and a few hundred meters wide. It was simple and unadorned. This was the second Heavenly King stele. Under this abyss, there is a peerless killing formation. If you fall, you will die without a doubt. The entire abyss is filled with astral winds, making it extremely difficult to fly. The final battle will be inside the Heavenly King Steel. The steel is a world of its own. Later, the Heavenly King's steel will shine. At that time, you can rush in. However, the Heavenly King's steel's light will only last for half an hour. You need to fly over this abyss and rush into the Heavenly King's steel. Those who fail to do so will be eliminated. Chapter 741. As soon as he said that, many people's eyes flickered and some of them looked serious. This should be the final test. Although it looked simple, it was extremely dangerous. In the time it took for an incense stick to burn, they had to cross 10 miles of the abyss. The key was that there were more than 40,000 people and it was too crowded. Everyone had to charge forward bravely to reach the Sky King's monument. Therefore, in this process, there was bound to be a fierce battle. They had to fight for the front to have a chance to reach the Sky King's monument. Just like that, everyone waited. This wait lasted for half a day. Buzz. Suddenly, the Sky King's monument shook and shone with a bright light. Begin! Dongfang Hao announced. Swoosh, swoosh. As soon as Dongfang Hao's voice fell, countless figures rose into the air and flew towards the Sky King's monument. Let's go! Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Kenfei Ryu and the others also rose into the air and flew forward. Whoosh whoosh. As soon as they flew above the abyss, a strong wind blew in the abyss. The wind was extremely sharp and it was like a sharp knife, slashing towards the crowd. Not good. Some people's faces changed and they were caught off guard. They were almost seriously injured and fell into the abyss. They quickly used their true origin to resist. Lu Ming and the others also used their true origin to block the surrounding wind. However, their speed was undoubtedly much slower. The abyss that could be crossed in the blink of an eye would take a lot more time. Swoosh, swoosh. Everyone stabilized their bodies and broke through the wind, moving forward quickly. Get lost, don't block the way. Someone roared and attacked the people in front. You're courting death. The people in front roared and a great battle broke out. Get lost, get out of the way. Loud roars rose and fell. Everyone wanted to be in the front. Only then would they have the confidence to reach the Sky King's monument in the time it took for an incense stick to burn. Above the abyss, a dazzling light burst out. Someone screamed and fell into the abyss. Suddenly, a sword light flashed in the abyss and that person was cut in half. His corpse fell into the abyss. There was a supreme killing array below and those who fell would die. Die, brat! Suddenly, a cold killing intent surged towards Lu Ming's group. At the same time, numerous attacks enveloped Lu Ming's group. Wang Mie, Wang Mang, you're courting death. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with killing intent. The ones who had attacked them were Wang Mie, Wang Mang, and some other elders. These elders were all extremely powerful. They were clearly the experts of the Wang family. Boom, boom. Lu Ming and the others erupted with power, blocking the attacks from all sides. Motherfucker, how dare you sneak attack me? You're courting death. Fatty Kong Jin roared and swung his axe, destroying everything in its path. 5 elders were enveloped by the fatty's axe. Xian Yanqing waved her jade-white hand and enveloped the 5 old men. As for Kenfei Ryu, he was facing the 2 elders alone. You two stay here. Lu Ming knocked back the 2 elders with a punch and charged towards Wang Mie and Wang Mang. Their expressions changed drastically. They had sent out more than 10 experts of the Wang family, but they were all held back by Xian Yanqing's group. This was beyond their expectations. Brat, this abyss will be your burial ground. Let's attack together and kill him. Wang Mie snorted coldly. His murderous intent was sharp. Together with Wang Mang, he charged toward Lu Ming. In addition, the other 2 elders also charged towards Lu Ming. Die! The infinite dragon spear appeared and a spear light shot out. It contained the 2nd level wind concept and the 2nd level thunder concept. It was too fast and too terrifying. 2 large holes appeared in the chests of the 2 elders. They were pierced by Lu Ming's spear light and fell into the abyss with miserable screams. Boom! Lu Ming's spear swept out horizontally. Wang Mie and Wang Mang trembled and retreated quickly. Wang Mie was fine, but fear flashed in Wang Mang's eyes. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood. The bones in one of his arms were completely shattered. How can he be so strong? It's best to leave. Wang Mia turned and left without thinking. Not good. Wang Mang was alarmed when he saw Wang Mia turn and run. It was too late for him to leave. Lu Ming stepped forward and stabbed out with his spear. The spear light was extremely resplendent. No! Wang Mang roared and tried his best to block. However, Lu Ming's strength had improved greatly and reached a terrifying level. Wang Mang couldn't stop him at all. Puchi! The spear pierced through Wang Mang's chest. With a tremor, Wang Mang's corpse fell into the abyss. Lu Ming, you dare to kill my Wang family's genius? You're dead. Wang Mia roared in front, but he didn't dare to stay. Lu Ming's combat strength was too strong. He realized that he wasn't Lu Ming's match at all. If he stayed, only death would await him. I'll definitely kill you in the Sky King's steel. Lu Ming shouted coldly. At this time, the old men who besieged Xian Yanqing and the others were either dead or running away. They suffered heavy losses. On the side, the others were shocked when they saw Lu Ming and the others' terrifying combat strength. They didn't dare to attack them at all. The four of them worked together and rushed forward. The people in front of them were directly sent flying. Lu Ming looked around and found that Jiang Taishu, the Corpse King, and some of the strongest people had already rushed to the front. Those who blocked them were all killed in one move. In the end, they rushed into the Sky King's steel and disappeared. After a little more than half an incense stick's time, Lu Ming and the others also rushed into the Sky King's steel and disappeared. Soon, half an incense stick's time passed. The light on the Sky King's steel disappeared. Those who rushed there couldn't enter the Sky King's steel anymore. They could only sigh outside and fly back to the other side of the abyss. They had lost their chance. At least a few thousand people fell into the abyss, and about 10,000 people rushed into the Sky King's steel. The others stayed outside. Including those who were eliminated in the first round, there were more than 100,000 people gathered at the edge of the abyss. Let's see what's going on inside. Dongfeng House it. Then he joined forces with Spiritual Master Three Corpses. Rays of light entered the Sky King's steel. In the next moment, an image appeared on the Sky King's steel. That's Jiang Taishu. In the image, Jiang Taishu was flying rapidly in the sky above an empty land. At this time, Dongfeng Hao waved his hand and the image changed into another image. A young man in a red robe killed an old man with a punch. Above his and the old man's heads, there was a phantom of a steel. There were 3 chi in the steel. At this time, the chi of the steel above the old man's head flew to the red-robed young man. The steel above the red-robed young man's head turned into 6 chi. That's Wang Ju, the genius of the Wang family. He was ranked 8th in the previous Sky King steel. Many people recognized the young man. At this time, Dongfeng Hao waved his hand again and the image changed again. The Sky King steel could actually show the image inside. Chapter 742. Everyone who entered would have a Sky King's tablet image appear above their heads and 3 streams of chi, known as tablet chi. As long as they killed or defeated others, they would be able to snatch their opponent's tablet chi. Once all 3 streams of tablet chi were snatched away, they would be transported out. The final ranking was determined by the amount of tablet chi they had. In the Heavenly King Monument world, there was only a total of 3 days. In other words, within these 3 days, one had to obtain as much monument chi as possible. After the 3 days were up, the person with the most monument chi would be ranked first on the Heavenly King ranking. As for the 108 people with the most monument chi, they would be the final 108 people. Therefore, these 3 days were destined to be cruel. There would be endless battles. If they found a place to hide, they wouldn't be able to get the final spot. Xian Yanqing, Kenfei Ryu and the others weren't nearby. It was obvious that they had been randomly scattered to different places when they entered. I heard that you can't use the inscription Dao in the Sky King's tablet world. Let's give it a try. Lu Ming waved his hands and started to inscribe inscriptions on the ground. Inscriptions flew into the ground one by one. However, in the next moment, the inscriptions dissipated and couldn't stick to the ground. Next, Lu Ming tried to inscribe inscriptions on himself. However, the result was the same. He couldn't stop the inscriptions and they dissipated. Indeed, in here, one can only rely on one's martial cultivation and not the inscription Dao. Lu Ming pondered. "Io, let me out for some fresh air." Dandan had climbed onto Lu Ming's shoulder again. Previously, Lu Ming had stuffed him into the Temple of Paragon. "Dandan, you'd better return to the Temple of Paragon. This place is extremely mysterious. I'm afraid there are important people watching. Don't blame me if they catch you and cook you." Lu Ming stuffed the unwilling Dandan back into the Temple of Paragon. Afterward, Lu Ming randomly chose a direction, soared into the air, and flew into the distance. "Hand over your monument chi." Not long after, Lu Ming ran into an old man. Unexpectedly, when the old man saw Lu Ming, he turned and ran. Lu Ming chased after him. With Lu Ming's 9 dragons heaven-stomping steps, how fast was his speed? In just a few moments, Zhang Xian caught up to the old man, and with a punch, the old man spurted a mouthful of blood. "I'll give you all my monument chi, don't kill me." The old man cried out in fear. He sighed inwardly at his bad luck. He didn't expect to run into a monster like Lu Ming as soon as he entered. The old man stopped and no longer resisted. He knew that if Lu Ming wanted to kill him, he would not be able to resist. Lu Ming strode forward and shattered the Sky King's monument's shadow above the elder's head with a single palm strike. The 3 strands of monument chi above the elder's head all flew into Lu Ming's Sky King's monument's shadow. At this moment, a beam of light enveloped the old man. In the next moment, the old man's figure disappeared and appeared outside. After Lu Ming obtained the 3 steel chi, he continued flying in search of his next prey. With only 3 days left, he had to make the best use of his time. In the next 3 hours, Lu Ming encountered 7 people consecutively. One of them resisted with all his might and was killed by Lu Ming. The other 6 surrendered and obediently gave up their monument chi. Lu Ming's monument chi increased to 27 strands. Outside, the crowd stared at the Sky King's monument. The images on it were constantly changing. Looks like the strongest group of people this time must be the young ones. No matter how long the older generation has cultivated, their talents are still limited. It's hard for them to compete with the peerless geniuses. That's right. This time, there are even more geniuses. Not only the top 10, but the top 20 will also be taken by the young geniuses. As you can see, Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, the Zombie King, and the others are almost invincible. Hey look, that's Lu Ming. In front of him are the 2 old fogies from the Sky Corps sect. At this moment, the image suddenly flashed and Lu Ming's figure appeared. At this moment, Lu Ming was flying forward. On a mountain peak not far away from him, 2 old men were hiding. Their bodies were emitting a cold aura. The 2 old fogies from the Sky Corps sect are extremely powerful. They are the most likely candidates to fight for the top 108. This is interesting. Lu Ming is going to be ambushed. Many people widened their eyes and looked at the image on the Sky King's monument. Dongfang Hao did not change the image. He seemed to be interested too. Lu Ming naturally did not know that there were 2 experts waiting for him in front. He was flying forward at an extremely fast speed. Suddenly, 2 black shadows flashed rapidly. 2 sharp beams of light slashed toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming raised his eyebrows. Spear light condensed and swept towards the 2 black figures. With a loud bang, Lu Ming's figure shook slightly. The 2 figures also retreated. Refined corpses. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that it was 2 refined corpses that attacked him. The 2 refined corpses were majestic and tall. They wore black armor and held 2 black battle swords in their hands. A blood-red light flashed in their eyes. Hee, it's that kid called Lu Ming, the genius who stepped on the 20th step of the Sky King's monument. With a faint sneer, 2 figures in black robes appeared beside the 2 refined corpses. They were 2 old men. They were so thin that only bones were left. They looked like 2 skeletons and were extremely eerie. The difference was that one of them was emitting a strong corpse aura while the other was emitting a ghostly aura. Hee, such a genius has endless potential. We must kill him now. Otherwise, he will be a great disaster for the Sky Corps sect in the future. The old man with ghostly aura sneered. Just you two old fogies? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Kid, your battle strength is not bad. I'm afraid that any one of us is no match for you. However, with the two of us working together, do you think you have a chance? The old man with ghostly aura grinned. In the next moment, a huge shrub appeared under his feet. The coffin opened and a dozen refined corpses flew out. Each of the refined corpses wore black armor and held black battle swords. Their auras were extremely powerful. Although these refined corpses were only peak kings, they were extremely powerful. They were much stronger than ordinary peak kings. This could be seen from the two refined corpses that had ambushed them. However, this old man could control so many refined corpses of peak kings. It was terrifying. Attack! The old man with ghostly aura roared. The dozen refined corpses roared and pounced at Lu Ming. At the same time, the old man with ghostly aura also moved. He punched out, and a ghostly howl filled the air. A black fist light flew towards Lu Ming. These two old men were very strong. They were the kind of old monsters that had cultivated for hundreds of years. I'll kill you first. With a sweep of his spear, 3 refined corpses were sent flying. At the same time, he punched out with his left hand to cancel out the ghostly old man's fist light. Then, he strode towards the old man with ghostly aura. Want to kill me? The old man with ghostly aura revealed a cold smile. He controlled the remaining refined corpses to surround Lu Ming. I can't be bothered to waste my time with you. Lu Ming put away the infinite dragon spear and used the exploding star fist. In an instant, he threw out hundreds of punches. Each fist light was infused with the 3 intents of wind, fire, and lightning. Especially the 2 intents of wind and lightning, which had reached the 2nd level. Its power was terrifying. Chapter 743. Dense bursting sounds rang out as more than a dozen refined corpses exploded. Lu Ming strode towards the old man. How could this be? The old man was shocked. More than a dozen indestructible refined corpses were all blown up by Lu Ming. How could Lu Ming's attack power be so terrifying? His heart trembled. Not good, retreat. The old man roared in his heart. He wanted to escape, but it was obviously too late. The bursting fist radiance instantly drowned him. In the next moment, 3 strands of steel chi flew into Lu Ming's Heavenly King Steel Phantom. On the other side, the ghostly old man was almost scared out of his wits and fled frantically. A spear radiance pierced through the void and nailed him in the air. Outside, many people gasped when they saw the scene on the Heavenly King Steel. This Lu Ming is too terrifying. 2 extremely powerful old monsters of the Heavenly Corpse sect were actually killed by him. The gap is too big. It's a complete crush. In my opinion, Lu Ming's combat strength has reached the peak level. He's not much different from Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, and the others. He can even contend with them. Terrifying, really terrifying. Obviously, Lu Ming's combat strength shocked everyone. At this moment, Dongfang Hao waved his hand and the scene changed again. Next, as time passed, they would see strong battles from time to time. Some experts who were originally favored and had hopes of rushing into the top 108 also clashed. Some died in battle, some were seriously injured and fled. The most eye-catching ones were some young geniuses. Jiang Taishu, Wang Ju, and the others who were the top 10 heavenly kings in the previous competition. Needless to say, their combat strength was well known. In addition, Xian Yanqing, Fatty Kong Jin, King Corpse, and other rising geniuses were also incomparably powerful. There were experts who died in their hands one after another. Including Lu Ming, there was no doubt that this time, the top 10 would be born from these people. In a flash, half a day had passed. Lu Ming's gains were also increasing. His Heavenly King's Steel Phantom already had 150 strands of steel chi. Look, Jiang Taishu and Lu Ming are getting closer and closer. It won't be long before they meet. Someone suddenly shouted from outside. Dongfang Hao and the Reverend 3 Corpses seemed to want the crowd to see more clearly. They switched the images of Lu Ming and Jiang Taishu. The crowd could see that the two were flying towards each other. They seemed to be getting closer and closer. It wouldn't be long before they met. Everyone's heartbeat quickened. Could it be that these two geniuses were going to meet so soon? Everyone was looking forward to seeing what would happen when the two of them met. Lu Ming quickly flew forward in search of prey. Suddenly, his eyes narrowed as a figure appeared in front of him. Jiang Taishu. Jiang Taishu strolled through the void and also discovered Lu Ming. His eyes gleamed with sharpness as a powerful aura bloomed from his body. Lu Ming, it's your bad luck to meet me. If you let me take your steel qi, you might still have a chance to live. Jiang Taishu stood in front of Lu Ming and said flatly, "Is that so? I want your steel qi too." Lu Ming licked his lips. There were definitely more than 200 strands of steel qi in Jiang Taishu's Heavenly King's steel phantom. Lu Ming was very tempted. "Huh, you want my steel qi? You really don't know your place. Let me tell you, the higher you climb on the Heavenly King's steel, the stronger your combat strength will be. Fine, I'll kill you today and let the world know what a real genius is." Jiang Taishu's eyes were filled with strong killing intent. The sharpness on his body was even stronger. He was like a peerless divine weapon that could cut through everything. Previously, on the Heavenly King's steel steps, Jiang Taishu had warned Lu Ming not to step on the 20th step. However, Lu Ming had ignored him. Who was Jiang Taishu? He was actually ignored by Lu Ming. At that moment, he wanted to kill Lu Ming. Now that they had met, how could he let Lu Ming go? It's said that the Jiang family cultivates a god-level cultivation technique, the immemorial mystical weapon art. I'd like to see it for myself. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with strong fighting intent. Jiang Taishu represented one of the strongest kings. He was very curious about what level he was at now. The battle is about to start. Outside, the crowd was also very excited as they stared at the screen above. Lu Ming and Jiang Taishu had indeed met. Judging from the situation, the battle was about to start. They were looking forward to this peak battle. Who do you think will win the battle between Lu Ming and Jiang Taishu? In my opinion, it will most likely be Jiang Taishu. After all, Jiang Taishu is a veteran expert. 3 years ago, he was already extremely terrifying. In the past 3 years, he must have become even more terrifying and stronger. His goal is to become the first on the Heavenly King's steel. That's right. Although Lu Ming is a peerless genius with terrifying talent and potential, his foundation is still lacking. He can't possibly be Jiang Taishu's opponent. Now, we'll see how many moves he can take from Jiang Taishu and whether he will be killed. The crowd was discussing intensely. In the heavenly steel world, clang, the sound of metal clashing could be heard from Jiang Taishu's body. A terrifying aura was emitted from his body, as if it could tear everything apart. You'll see, but the price is death. Jiang Taishu stepped out and slashed his palm towards Lu Ming. In Lu Ming's eyes, this palm was like a heavenly blade that could split everything apart. True Yuan erupted as Lu Ming punched out. Berserk true essence gathered in this fist and burst out. Lu Ming's fist collided with Jiang Taishu's palm. A dull roar resounded between heaven and earth. Both of their bodies trembled and retreated. Jiang Taishu, fight with me. Don't try to test me. Go all out. Lu Ming said with bright eyes. Then I'll fulfill your wish. Clang, clang. At this moment, as if thousands of weapons were clashing, Jiang Taishu's aura became sharper and more terrifying. The shattering essence. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The essence that Jiang Taishu had comprehended was the shattering essence, an extremely terrifying essence. It was similar to Xian Yanqing's destruction essence, which was inclined towards attacking. Its destructive power was extremely terrifying and could shatter everything. Moreover, Jiang Taishu had cultivated the shattering essence to an extremely terrifying level, level 2 lower tier. Yes, Jiang Taishu's shattering essence had reached level 2 lower tier. Coupled with the immemorial mystical armament that Jiang Taishu cultivated, the combination was absolutely terrifying. Kill! Jiang Taishu shouted as he stepped forward. His arm was like a sword as it slashed towards Lu Ming. The wind and thunder essences burst out as the battle dragon True Yuan circulated rapidly. Lu Ming punched out again. Boom! A terrifying vibration resounded as the ground was bombarded by a terrifying force. Huge craters appeared one after another. The two figures trembled for a moment before stabilizing themselves. That Lu Ming is so strong. He can actually block Jiang Taishu. The spectators outside were shocked. Chapter 744. Kill. Jiang Taishu's eyes grew colder. He had to win today. He had to kill Lu Ming. His goal was to be the strongest king, to be number one. How could he be stopped by Lu Ming from the beginning? Jiang Taishu's entire body had turned into numerous divine weapons, which were indestructible and invincible. Lu Ming combined the two second-level essences of wind and thunder, and with his powerful genuine essence, he fought with Jiang Taishu with the exploding star fist. The two turned into two rays of light and kept bombarding each other. It was terrifying. The nearby mountains were destroyed, and the earth exploded. It was like doomsday. Outside it was silent. Everyone held their breath and watched with wide eyes. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming and Jiang Taishu had exchanged more than 50 blows. Gosh, what kind of combat strength is this? It's too terrifying. Is he still in the king realm? Ordinary martial artists at the first level of the spiritual sea realm can't take more than a few blows from him. It's too terrifying. This is a peerless talent. With their foundation, once they break through the spiritual sea realm, they will advance by leaps and bounds. In the battle of fortune, they may be able to compete with the top 300 or even the top 200 geniuses on the list of top 1,000 talents. Many people were discussing in shock. Jiang Taishu had entered the 10 Kings 3 years ago. If he had broken through the spiritual sea realm earlier, he would have been ranked in the top 300. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming and Jiang Taishu exchanged more than 10 blows in a row, shattering a mountain. They were separated in the void. In addition to shock, Jiang Taishu's eyes were filled with killing intent and anger. He didn't expect to be stopped by Lu Ming. Clang! Clang! The sound of weapons vibrating could be heard. Above Jiang Taishu's head, a huge mountain appeared. This mountain was made of bare rocks, and there were weapons of all kinds stuck on it. 9 silver chakras were extremely bright. This was Jiang Taishu's bloodline. Jiang Taishu waved his hand, and the endless weapons on the mountain flew into his body. His aura was stronger, and there was even a metallic luster on his skin. Bang! He stepped into the void and charged towards Lu Ming. Looks like he has finally used his strongest combat strength. That's good too. This battle should end soon. Lu Ming whispered. The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline erupted. Lu Ming stepped forward and struck out with his palm. Hell-suppressing heaven skill. There seemed to be a hell-suppressing steel in his palm that could suppress the 9 underworld hell. Lu Ming's palm collided with Jiang Taishu's palm. At the place where the two of them exchanged blows, the space vibrated violently, producing ripples that spread in all directions like water waves. Then, the crowd saw a figure retreating at an extremely fast speed. Jiang Taishu. The retreating figure was actually Jiang Taishu. One of his arms was trembling non-stop, and his palm was even somewhat distorted. Those who saw this scene could hardly believe their eyes. The ancient Jiang clan cultivated the art of the immemorial divine armament, and their bodies were even tougher than spirit weapons. Every move they made was filled with boundless power, capable of destroying everything. But now, in a head-on confrontation, he was actually suppressed by Lu Ming. His palm was injured, and he was at a disadvantage. Impossible! Jiang Taishu roared at the sky in disbelief. What's impossible? You're strong, but I'm stronger. Lu Ming stepped forward and continued to attack. Lu Ming, you must die. Jiang Taishu roared and attacked again. But after a few moves, his body retreated rapidly. His arms were severely deformed, and even his bones were shattered. He spat out blood. You want to kill me? Then I'll kill you. Lu Ming strode forward with a murderous look in his eyes. Outside, the crowd was shocked. Lu Ming not only defeated Jiang Taishu, but also wanted to kill him. Jiang Taishu was a rare genius of the Jiang clan. In the future, he was a promising candidate for the throne of the Jiang clan. Lu Ming wanted to kill him. How dare he? Bang! Jiang Taishu was no match for Lu Ming at all. He was sent flying by Lu Ming and coughed up blood. At least 7 or 8 bones in his body were broken. Lu Ming, if you dare to kill me, the Jiang clan won't let you off. Jiang Taishu roared. Huh, you're a genius of the ancient Jiang clan. You've lost, but you still have the cheek to use your clan to suppress me. Now that the Battle of Providence is about to begin, do you think the elders of the Jiang clan dare to deal with me? Lu Ming laughed loudly. He was fearless. For a large clan like the Jiang clan, if a descendant of the Jiang clan lost in a competition among peers, the elders would not intervene because they did not have the face to do so. In large clans, the competition was even crueler. Not only did they have to compete with their own clan, but they also had to compete with the geniuses of other forces. Only then could they be qualified to inherit the clan. Damn it! Jiang Taishu roared and retreated frantically, trying to escape. He had to escape. He had to escape and gather the other experts of the Jiang clan in the Heavenly King Monument world to kill Lu Ming. You can't escape. Lu Ming chased after him. He had always been decisive in his actions. Since he had offended someone, he would kill them. Young Master Taishu, hurry up and leave. We'll stop him. 3 sharp lights suddenly flew over from afar and blasted toward Lu Ming. They were 3 elders. They were like 3 divine weapons that were extremely terrifying. Without a doubt, they were the 3 powerful old monsters of the Jiang clan. Jiang Taishu was overjoyed. He used a secret technique and frantically fled forward. You're courting death. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. He instantly threw out 2 palms and a kick. The 3 elders flew backward and coughed up blood. Their eyes were full of shock. The 3 of them had all cultivated the immemorial mystical weapon art for more than 500 years. They were definitely the top experts among the peak-level kings. They could kill ordinary peak-level kings with a wave of their hands. However, the 3 of them coughed up blood because of Lu Ming's attack. It was too terrifying. Kill! Lu Ming used the 9 dragon sky-stomping steps and flashed past like a phantom. He threw out a palm strike. One of the elders was torn into pieces. All of his monument chi was absorbed by Lu Ming. Then, his figure didn't stop as he continued to kill. Soon, the other 2 elders followed in his footsteps. The 3 elders each had close to 100 monument chi. This way, Lu Ming's monument chi had increased to more than 400. Unfortunately, Jiang Taishu escaped. Lu Ming looked in the direction Jiang Taishu had escaped. His eyes were like lightning. At this moment, Jiang Taishu had already run off to who knows where. Lu Ming stepped forward and continued to search for prey while refining the essence blood. The essence blood's energy was all transferred to his second bloodline. Since the higher the level of the suppressing prison steel bloodline, the stronger the suppressing prison skill would be, Lu Ming planned to upgrade it first. In the outside world, countless people were shocked. Jiang Taishu, the genius who had been favored the most and had the highest chance of winning, had been defeated so early. Chapter 745. Could it be that Lu Ming will get first place this time? It's possible, but I wonder if there are any other dark horses? For example, the Corpse King of the Heavenly Corpse sect and that fatty. They're both terrifying and unfathomable. The other 10 heavenly kings are also terrifying. No one knows how strong they are in the past few years. Maybe they're even stronger than Jiang Taishu? Moreover, it's not a one-on-one battle in the heavenly monument world. It's hard to say who will get first place. Lu Ming's actions caused a commotion. Half an hour later, Jiang Taishu appeared a few 100,000 miles away. He coughed out another mouthful of blood as soon as he appeared. Lu Ming, I'll kill you. Jiang Taishu let out a low growl from his throat. He was extremely angry. He had actually lost to Lu Ming. He couldn't believe it and couldn't accept it. This time, he was ambitious and was determined to get first place. However, he had lost to Lu Ming on the first day. This was a huge blow to him. He hated Lu Ming to the core and wanted Lu Ming dead. Lu Ming, no matter how strong you are, you're only one person. I'll gather the other experts of the Jiang family and kill you. The first place will be mine this time. Jiang Taishu's eyes flashed with malice and killing intent. Jiang Taishu, why are you in such a sorry state? Were you besieged by the Heavenly Corpse sect? A burst of laughter could be heard as two figures stepped through the void and arrived. Wang Ju. Jiang Taishu's eyes flashed. Wang Ju, a member of the ancient Wang family. He was ranked 8th in the previous Heavenly King ranking. Wang Mia was beside Wang Ju, but he was ignored by Jiang Taishu. What? Wang Ju, are you trying to steal my monument aura while I'm injured? Jiang Taishu looked at Wang Ju cautiously. Brother Jiang, what kind of person do you think I am? Even if I want to fight with you, I won't take advantage of the situation. But are you really besieged by the Heavenly Corpse sect? Wang Ju asked. It's not the Heavenly Corpse sect. Jiang Taishu shook his head and said, if I told you that I was defeated by a single person, would you believe me? What? Was it Luan Zhan, Dong Fangyu, or Gi? Wang Ju's expression drastically changed. He quickly said a few names. These people were all as famous as them, they were all extremely powerful. Jiang Taishu shook his head and said, no, he's a new genius called Lu Ming. Wang Ju, I suggest we team up. Otherwise, we won't be a match for him alone. Lu Ming? Wang Ju's eyes flickered. Lu Ming, it's him? At the side, Wang Mia's expression changed drastically. I forgot that you guys seem to have a grudge with that Lu Ming. Jiang Taishu's eyes flickered. Lu Ming, that little bastard, is actually this powerful? Wang Mia couldn't believe it. There's nothing to lie about. You're just lucky. If Lu Ming used his full strength, he would only need a few moves to kill you. Jiang Taishu looked at Wang Mia and chuckled. I really didn't expect you to be defeated by Lu Ming in a head-on battle. Wang Ju's expression was extremely serious. He and Jiang Taishu were competitors, so he knew how terrifying Jiang Taishu was. If even Jiang Taishu was defeated, then he might not be a match for him either. This person's existence is a huge obstacle to our goal of fighting for first place. Apart from first place, what's the difference between the other ranks? Jiang Taishu said. You want to team up and eliminate Lu Ming together? Wang Ju said. Yes, you can team up and gather the other experts of the Jiang and Wang families. Also, don't some of Lu Ming's friends also come? His girlfriend is very beautiful. And those trash from the Golden Sword sect. As long as we take them down, Lu Ming will definitely be cautious and it'll be much easier to kill him. Jiang Taishu said, a cold light flashing in his eyes. Jiang Taishu, looks like you're really afraid of Lu Ming. Alright, I agree. We'll gather the people of the two families first and then take down Lu Ming's friends. Then we'll wait for Lu Ming at the exit. Wang Ju laughed. Alright then let's move. We'll meet at the exit. Jiang Taishu said with a cold face. Wang Ju smiled and then stepped into the air with Wang Mia. I'll take care of that bastard Lu Ming first, then deal with you guys. Jiang Taishu's eyes were cold. He took out a few pills and swallowed them. Then, he sat down cross-legged and began to heal his injuries. 2 hours later, Jiang Taishu stood up and disappeared in a ray of light. In the Heavenly Monument world, even voice transmission jade talismans couldn't be used. If one wanted to find someone, they could only rely on luck and fly. However, many people from the Jiang and Wang families had entered. Slowly, some people had gathered. Jiang Taishu had even formed an alliance with Luan Zhan to kill Lu Ming together. The people of the three ancient families moved out and started to search for Xian Yanqing, Kenfei Ryu, and the people of the Golden Sword sect. This time, apart from Kenfei Ryu, there were a total of 29 people from the Golden Sword sect. However, only 9 of them had successfully entered. Jin Zhaokai was one of the 9. He had cultivated for more than 800 years and was an extremely powerful peak king of the Golden Sword sect. However, at his age, the chances of breaking through to the spiritual sea realm were very slim. However, the Heavenly King ranking was a chance. He wanted to give it a try. Now that he had gathered 72 strands of steel qi, perhaps there really was hope. At this moment he suddenly stopped. In front of him, 3 figures walked over. Jiang Taishu. Jin Zhaokai's expression changed drastically. The one in front of the 3 was Jiang Taishu. Looking at your cultivation technique, you're from the Golden Sword sect, right? Jiang Taishu asked with a gloomy face. That's right. I'm from the Golden Sword sect. If young Master Jiang needs the steel qi, I'm willing to give it all to you. Jin Zhaokai had already lost all hope after encountering Jiang Taishu. He knew that this time, he couldn't keep the steel qi. He could only exchange it for his life. Give you the steel qi? Hehe, I'll still get the steel qi after killing you. Jiang Taishu smiled coldly. At the same time, his body moved and pounced towards Jin Zhaokai, showing off his ability. Jin Zhaokai was shocked. He frantically retreated and used all his strength to block. A bright golden sword light slashed towards Jiang Taishu. However, in the next moment the sword light broke. His body shook violently, and one of his arms was broken. Puchi. Jiang Taishu's palm directly pierced through Jin Zhaokai's heart. Jin Zhaokai's eyes widened, filled with unwillingness. Generally speaking, as long as one took the initiative to give up the steel qi, ordinary people wouldn't kill them. This was because they were all from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace, not the Heavenly Corpse sect or the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. But if you want to blame someone, blame yourself for being too close to that bastard Lu Ming. After saying that, Jiang Taishu released his energy and killed Jin Zhaokai. Chapter 746. This scene happened in every corner of the Sky King's monument world. The 9 powerhouses of the Golden Sword sect who entered were all killed. Countless people saw this scene in the outside world. Despicable, despicable. The remaining people of the Golden Sword sect who did not enter the Sky King's monument world were furious. The actions of Jiang Taishu and the others were too despicable. What did you say? In the outside world, the Jiang and Wang families also targeted the people of the Golden Sword sect. The expressions of the people of the Golden Sword sect changed drastically, and they did not continue to speak. The Sky King's monument world is not a battle stage. All kinds of methods can be used in a one-on-one battle. Don't you understand? Once you enter, you should be prepared to be killed. The people of the Jiang family said coldly. Although the others were indignant, the ancient families were too powerful. They could only shut up. Look, that's Lu Ming's girlfriend and Kenfei Ryu. They're about to meet Jiang Taishu. And Wang Ju. He's also nearby. It's over. This is dangerous. 2 figures appeared on the Sky King's monument. They were Xian Yanqing and Kenfei Ryu. Xian Yanqing and Kenfei Ryu happened to meet half a day after entering the Sky King's monument world. The 2 of them decided to work together. I wonder where Brother Lu is? Kenfei Ryu asked. Don't worry about that guy. No one here is a match for him. Xian Yanqing said. He was very confident in Lu Ming. Suddenly, Xian Yanqing stopped. Kenfei Ryu was stunned. The next moment, his expression changed slightly. A dozen figures appeared in front of him. The leader was Jiang Taishu. Beside him were 2 young men. They were obviously extremely powerful existences in the Jiang family. The other dozen people were all burly men and old men. They exuded a sharp aura. Jiang Taishu. Kenfei Ryu's expression changed. He transmitted his voice to Xian Yanqing and said, Miss Xie, there are too many of them. Let's retreat first. They have killing intent. They might not let us go. Xian Yanqing said. Jiang Taishu and the others moved very quickly. Like spirit weapons, they tore through the void and appeared in front of Xian Yanqing and Kenfei Ryu in an instant. Haha, Kenfei Ryu and you, Lu Ming's woman, you won't be able to escape today. But don't worry, I won't kill you. I'll cripple your cultivation and then take you to kill you in front of Lu Ming. Jiang Taishu's voice was extremely cold. Looks like you've been defeated by Lu Ming. Otherwise, why would you use such a method to deal with Lu Ming? Xian Yanqing said indifferently. His eyes were filled with disdain. Shut up, bitch! Jiang Taishu shouted angrily. He stared at Xian Yanqing ferociously and said, Bitch, Lu Ming will definitely die. I won't let you go to waste. I'll serve you well in front of Lu Ming. Haha, a genius of an ancient family. An expert on the Heavenly King leaderboard? You want to use despicable means to win after being defeated. You'll never amount to anything. Xian Yanqing mocked with a look of disdain. Bitch, you're courting death. Jiang Taishu shouted angrily. Ha, what a sharp tongue this girl has. I like it. With a loud laugh, Wang Ju and Wang Mie walked over with more than 10 people. Kenfei Ryu's face was extremely solemn. Xian Yanqing also frowned slightly. Wang Ju, you've come at the right time. Is everything settled? Jiang Taishu asked. Of course. Wang Ju waved his hand, and 4 golden swords flew out and stabbed into the ground below. Jiang Taishu also waved his hand, and 5 golden swords flew out and stabbed into the ground. 9 golden swords were lined up in a row. You bastards! Kenfei Ryu roared, his face extremely ugly. Jiang Taishu and Wang Ju were actually hunting the people of the Golden Sword sect. Kenfei Ryu's eyes turned red when he saw 9 people of the Golden Sword sect killed. They didn't deserve to die. They can only blame themselves for being too close to Lu Ming. Soon, you will follow in their footsteps. Jiang Taishu smiled sinisterly. At this moment, the scene in the outside world was also frozen. Many people were angry and felt that Jiang Taishu's actions were shameless. However, the other party was a genius of the 6 ancient families. They didn't dare to say anything and could only swallow their anger. At this moment, Jiang Taishu waved his hand and led more than 10 experts of the Jiang family towards Xian Yanqing and Kenfei Ryu. Sky Demon Force Field. Xian Yanqing waved her hands, and the Sky Demon Force Field enveloped herself and Kenfei Ryu. Jiang Taishu roared and rushed into the Sky Demon Force Field like a divine weapon. More than 10 experts of the Jiang family also rushed into the Sky Demon Force Field. As soon as they rushed into the Sky Demon Force Field, their expressions changed drastically as they felt an unimaginable pressure. Ever since Xian Yanqing had successfully merged the Destruction Intent and the Wind Intent, the power of the Sky Demon Force Field had greatly increased. Later on, her bloodline had undergone nirvana and reached the 9th level of the king level, so it was even stronger. Destruction Cut. A terrifying cutting power crazily slashed at the Jiang family members. Someone immediately coughed up blood and was severely injured. Jiang Taishu roared. His palm was like a heavenly blade that could cut through everything. With one strike, the force field in front of him was broken. Jiang Taishu strode forward and rushed in front of Xian Yanqing. Kenfei Ryu's eyes turned golden, and a dazzling golden light spread out from his hand. It turned into a sharp sword light and slashed at Jiang Taishu. Clown, how dare you attack me? You're courting death. Jiang Taishu struck out with his palm again. It turned into a divine sword and crashed into the dazzling golden sword light. The sword light shattered, and Kenfei Ryu retreated quickly. His face turned red, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was too weak compared to Jiang Taishu. Even with the help of Xian Yanqing's Sky Demon Force Field, he was still far from being Jiang Taishu's opponent. Jiang Taishu was like a divine weapon that could not be stopped. He continued to break the Sky Demon Force Field and attacked Xian Yanqing. Sky Demon Right Hand. Xian Yanqing whispered. Black light bloomed on her body. Her jade-like hand gently pressed forward. A beautiful arm condensed in the air, like the world's most beautiful work of art, and blasted toward Jiang Taishu. Jiang Taishu struck out with his palm and collided with the beautiful arm. In an instant, Jiang Taishu's expression changed slightly. His body trembled and he took a step back. In the process of him and Xian Yanqing's attacks, he had been bombarded by a powerful destructive force. In the Heavenly Demon Force Field, he was actually at a disadvantage. This made his murderous intent even sharper. First, he was defeated by Lu Ming. Now, he was at a disadvantage in the battle with Xian Yanqing. He could not accept it. Kill! Jiang Taishu's aura became stronger as he unleashed his bloodline. He charged towards Xian Yanqing. Kenfei Ryu, you go and deal with those people. Leave this guy to me. Xian Yanqing said to Kenfei Ryu. Okay. Kenfei Ryu's body flashed. Golden sword light bloomed and attacked the rest of the Jiang family. Those people were also very strong. They kept breaking the sky demon force field, putting Xian Yanqing under great pressure. Xian Yanqing not only had to control the sky demon force field, but he also had to deal with Jiang Taishu. This caused the spectators to be extremely shocked. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.